Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Phil's Recap and Review. This is going to be for Invincible, Season 2, Episode 3, this Missive, this Machination, and wow. I don't know about Joe, because we didn't talk about it before the show started, but I'm, of course, not alone. I got Joe Dirty Locks with me tonight in the live chat. But I gotta say, right off the bat, for me anyways, this was one of my favorite episodes of Invincible. We weren't on last week to talk about episode 2, which this is where it becomes difficult because next week is actually the mid-season finale of Invincible. And regardless of whether this was a great episode or I enjoyed myself in this episode, the fact that we only have one more episode in this half season is kind of shocking to me. I mean, not as shocking as the end of this episode. I did kind of vibe out or think I knew where things were going with that, but it still kind of shocked me. I knew something was up. I guess we'll start at the end of the episode. Spoilers for this episode if you haven't seen it. The reveal of Nolan at the end, it got me, but I knew something was up. Obviously, you knew there was something going on with that bug guy. He was a little squirrely with their 9 months existence. But both these two episodes have been all over the place in the sense of so many different things happening. It's hard to keep track of all of it at once. But this episode specifically felt very, very right off a comic book to me. I felt like what this show does better than almost anything takes from like page and makes me feel like I'm watching a comic book. And then we get a crossover episode, Joe. Again, I'm building this all up so Joe can crush my dreams here when he didn't like it, but then we get a freaking crossover episode that we have Optimus Prime in this episode, and of course we get all the Invincible people, and then we get freaking Mr. Peanut Butter doing the narrator voice, popping on in there from BoJack. That just is unbelievably amazing. All of the storylines intersected perfectly for me in this one. It all came together. Optimus Prime's voice as Thetis, or whatever his name is, I'll be calling him Optimus Prime because, that's what I'll be doing for most of this until I at least learn his name. I thought he was incredible in the episode. I hope we see more of him. I don't know. This was my favorite episode of the season. Last week was good too, but the first two didn't quite grab my attention as much as I was wanting to. This felt more like the story was actually starting with this episode. Joe, what did you think of tonight's episode before I played the shut the F up Joe thing? But no, I'm kidding.
I wasn't really feeling good I'm going to start with last week.
Okay, start with last week.
I wasn't really feeling good last week. I had sudden sickness and vomiting and headache.
I didn't know if you had. I don't know if you had sudden I didn't like the episode disorder and you didn't want to come out and disappoint me or something like that. I wasn't sure, but I know. But Joe was not feeling good last week, which is why I did come out for a few minutes and start, and then I had technical difficulties, and then I just didn't restart. I figured we'd come back out and double fist it tonight.
Yeah. So last week really sucked. That was my thought about last week's episode. It was bad. I was very bored throughout.
I don't know if it was for me. It wasn't necessarily bad, but it was a very character emotional driven episode. It was low key. There was a low energy to last week's episode.
I thought it was. I can't even remember the episode really.
We'll talk a little bit about it later.
But this week's episode I thought was super interesting. I really liked the world build and explanation. The narrator was really cool. When you read comic books, there's a lot of pains that just have exposition, right? That are just all descriptive and move the story along by having a narrator tell you things that have been going on. I really kind of enjoyed that. This felt like a comic book to me.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess, Joe, just for your benefit, because I don't know how much you've read of Invincible.
None.
I looked this stuff. They pulled that whole section, the Allen section, panel for panel. People are glowing. The things that they do change, they say they've changed for the better. But that section was almost pulled
Yeah, see,
panel
like
for panel.
I had no idea. I had no idea.
The narrator's voice pops in there, breaks up the sex scene. Like that whole thing is directly, and people say this is the point where the Invincible comic really starts. I was reading a lot about it in the last 24 hours, and it's when this, like exactly what you just said, this is when the world opens up and we really start to learn about this universe and how multi-layered and built of a universe Kirkman and friends made here.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. It felt like a comic book. It really did. It really. I'm so happy you said that because it really felt like a comic book to me. I felt like I was watching an animated comic book, and that felt good. Not to mention, I really enjoyed the story. I liked. There's a lot of it I really liked.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I'm glad. I'm honestly, I don't blame you for last week's episode. I think last week's episode wasn't my favorite episode of the series either, but I do think there's a lot of important, this series, because it's so dramatically real. It also is hilarious, and we'll get to some hilarious parts. One of my favorite lines in this episode was when multiple Kate was talking to Rexplode, and she's like, "Well, you're an asshole." He's like, "Yeah, what's new about that?"
That's a given.
Yeah, that's a given. It reminds me of some of my breakups in that moment. I'm like, "You're an asshole." Well, you knew that
before we started dating.
Yeah, I haven't changed within the situation.
Which is like there was something like basically. It went to another part of the episode where he tells he's like, his girlfriend, I'm really sorry. I got to do this.
Amber,
and she's like, shut up. Don't tell me sorry. I knew who you were when we started this. Go do what you got to do.
Yeah, 100%.
And like, you see that in so many cop movies, cop shows, army, military guys got to go away and why? Oh, you do. I don't know when you're coming home and going. Listen, you know, you met me. I was in my like 8th year of a military career. I've been a cop for 10 years when you fucking met me. Like, you signed on for this shit. You knew what this shit was about. Like,
and that's where they've done excellent. And this show does character growth really well, and they've done it. We've seen from season 1 that character's changed and adapted. Now she knows about it. What she was bothered by in season 1 was feeling like he was lying about something, and now that she knows.
His friend there, the Eve chick.
Eve, yeah, Adam Eve, who wasn't in this episode, but she got her own spin-off movie in between the seasons. I also thought William, his best friend, was really good in this episode in showing that he's holding on to stuff that happened last season. They're not just sort of yada-yadaing stuff. He's actually emotionally holding on to that weight. And I think last week's episode 2, I think what threw me off about that one, just to talk about that, the title is so cool. In 24 hours, I'm about to lose my virginity to a fish. And the fish thing ended up being sort of an afterthought in the episode. And it wasn't exactly what I wanted it to be. But so much of that is dealing with the emotional loss and emotional weight that both Invincible, Mark, and his mom are dealing with. But the problem, or not the problem, I think the amazing thing was they had a whole episode almost dedicated to that in episode 2. What they did in this single episode with the support group stuff, which we've seen in other things. We've seen it in The Boys. We've seen it in the MCU. We've seen superhero support group kind of things. But this scene was twisted in a very interesting way because what you expect in that moment is the guy that lost his wife to be like, it's not your fault at the end of it all. But the way they handled...
No, you didn't.
I was surprised by the way... I was surprised by the way they went that hard with it, Joe. And they went real. They went Cisco and Picard in Deep Space Nine. Like, you became Borg and you killed my wife, you motherfucker. You know, they went there with it, and it was dark. And I thought that scene was done really well, and I thought that was some excellent acting on both hands as well. Yeah, exactly.
I kind of felt like they were going that way with it, right from the setup, right from the whole like we don't talk about who our spouses was our last names and shit like that, and I'm sitting there saying to myself, there aren't that many of these people.
Right.
If there are that many of these people, there aren't that many.
Yeah, this isn't the tick world. Yeah, this isn't the tick world. There aren't like millions of them here and there. Let's get into the live chat. We have some friends in the live chat.
Well, how easy is it going to be to figure out who everybody's fucking talking about?
Yeah.
You know, and who the fuck, like, She knows her husband killed all of these
Joe.
people's fucking spouses. Why would she even go? Why would she think this was going to be a safe space for her? Even if some people are like, okay,
And she already has the
like
connection.
this guy.
And the person that suggested this was the Flash's wife. So she already has the connection. And she's like, I told the lady about it. So there is some connection there. So I don't think
they already know who she is.
I don't think she's thinking 100% straight. We got the amazing.
Like, I said to Katie when that happened, I said, as soon as she picked up the phone, she called. I got some. My friend gave me, and she goes, "Oh, I've been waiting for your call." I said to Katie, I would have hung up the phone
right
then
it seems
that's
like
a fucking setup.
Yeah, it seems like a setup. Joe, I'm glad that we don't trust people who are poker players. Let's get in the live chat. AK says hello, great to see AK.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. All friends, great to see all of you folks. Don't say I'm sorry, Joe. Keep it going. Jackie C, great to see Jackie C in there.
Sure, then I can't believe it's like in The Boys. It's very similar. Like
when Butcher goes into the. Anyways, I'm popping through the chat. We got.
Yeah, I lost my train of thought.
That's my fault. Captain Lazarize in the live chat. Yeah, I know the comics, but I didn't think the Omni-Bug world thing would happen this season. Me either, Captain. When I've snuck ahead a little bit in stuff like that, but once I heard the name of the planet, it rang true. I think it was last year. I read a little bit of some of the online stuff up through around here. I know some names that I probably shouldn't know yet. And I thought they would stretch that as well. I thought maybe episode 8, that would be a cliffhanger going into the next season. But I guess they wanted to bring JK back as soon as possible. Everything seems to be happening in different orders from the comic.
Yeah, they skipped the whole summer. Like they went right from episode 2. I remember he graduated. You almost made my son miss his graduation.
Right, and that's what made the line that Nolan said at the end, son, it's been a while, because it has been a while. He's gone from graduation to going from June to September.
Year.
Yeah, or June till September, October, whenever it is.
And that other shit, that's also, you got to remember, whatever happened last season happened well before graduation, because he had to take time to finish
Joe, isn't it
school year, heal from whatever happened?
Isn't it awesome that in a show like this, usually we wouldn't be nailing down timetables and stuff, but this show does the real drama so well that I can't help but judge it by that seriousness level of having to kind of pick it apart on that point, because this show does the humanism drama stuff really well in the sense of this kind of shit. Jackie says,
that's one of the things about Seth Rogen right now is with him not only being one of the producers of this, I believe
he was great in this episode, by the way. He was great.
He believes in it that much where he's like, I just don't want to be a producer or whatever. I want to be
an actor in it.
I want to be in it as well, because I haven't read any of the source material, and I really do want to. I'm going to go pick up.
I think from what I've been poking around, I think you're gonna like it. From when I've been poking around about it, and Seth Rogen does an amazing job with this character of Alan, and we'll talk about Alan in a bit.
He's been picking and doing nothing but good shit now.
He produced
a while.
He produced
a big while.
He produced the newest Ninja Turtles movie, which was very well done. As a Ninja Turtles fan, I enjoyed it a great deal. He actually made it a point to cast teenagers as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the very first time, and it really works. Surprisingly, if you don't cast a 35-year-old Sean Austin, don't get me wrong, I love 2012.
No, you don't.
No, I love the 2012 Ninja Turtles, not the Michael Bay ones. I'm talking about the Nickelodeon series. Anyways, Jackie C says, when are you going to join us for trivia again? It's funny you mentioned that. I did pop in for a second tonight to jump in, but I had to get set up for this. But I love the trivia crew, and make sure you check that out. Most Friday nights they do some fun trivia, and I will try to pop in there soon.
Read Captain's latest
I will.
comment there. I want to talk about that.
Let's pop that.
Captain Lazarus knows Seth Rogen's really into comic books, probably feels really passionate about this show, and that's what I'm getting at. He hasn't been taking things that have not been passionate to him, and it's that passion that he's bringing to this.
You feel it,
and making what seems like the source material not just like the script, but like, this is what we signed on to do. This is what we're going to do.
And
Unlike, say, The Walking Dead, where they say, this is what we signed on to do, but we're not going to do this at all.
Joe, it's funny you mentioned The Walking Dead, or it's not funny, but I mean, this is Kirkman, and Kirkman's a huge part of this, and I think maybe he's righting wrongs of the past with this series, dude. He's like, I'm not going to make the same mistakes. He's making things better on the show from the comics.
There's a reason why those comic books did so well is because they're that good.
Yeah, some people hold the Invincible. Again, I've been reading about it a lot this week and over the last, and people that are passionate about this consider this one of the best, tightest comic universes from beginning to end. Has a definitive conclusion to it that is supposed to be very rewarding. I don't know what it is, but I know there's a couple of huge big fights in the future that are going to be insane. And one more thing before you go off, Joe. The violence in the show is done so effing well.
Oh yeah.
We're going to get to that later when we talk about the scenes.
Almost perfect.
I would say perfect.
Maybe perfect. No, perfect. Like just remembering the train from last season.
And this season with that fight with Alan at the beginning.
Yep. Very nice. Very nicely done.
What it does, which is incredible, Joe, is in a world where you have multiple people that all have powers and stuff, it's sometimes hard to not differentiate the levels of powers that they have. And when the Viltrumites show up, you see it. You see it. Exactly. You understand it in a second that, wow, these guys are just that next level. It's like we've played against, high level, we're pretty good street ball players, but you put us in a game with a high level we'll be like, oh, okay, we're done. We're done.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Before I forget my question.
Do it.
Why hasn't Smith been able to fucking pull this shit off?
Kevin Smith.
That motherfucker.
He tried with the Masters of the Universe, and it sucked.
And here's the thing though, he's such a big comic book fan, and he's such a big for the whole. But
Joe, being
like for the whole scene of it all, that you would have expected him to do some of this shit,
Joe. But being
produce it. Be in it
but being a fan sometimes clouds your perspective because he's an admitted he likes everything.
He's a junkie.
He's a junkie that has trouble being negative about stuff. So he probably has trouble saying no to things and having a good bullshit detector. Where Seth Rogen always. I've seen him in enough interviews to know that he's sort of a pessimistic, like he looks into things. How's this going to suck? How's this going to suck? How are people going to look at this and think it's going to suck? Where Kevin Smith looks at things and goes, how are people going to love this? Everyone's going to love this.
How isn't anyone going to love this?
Right. Exactly. That's better, Joe.
Only going to be good.
Yeah, that's better. How isn't anyone? Where Seth Rogen, I get he has a vibe, at least in my opinion of him, that he's got this like people are gonna eventually catch up that I suck, and so he's always trying to prove that he belongs there.
So many great comic book writers and artists out there, such as like Neil Gaiman, Frank Miller. You take your fucking pick.
Frank Miller when he wants to.
Robert Kirkman, who has production companies set up and things, that infrastructure that would. Like, I don't understand how Kevin Smith, being the junkie he is, hasn't tried to, or at least
he's tried to. He's tried. Okay, but anyways,
Has he, or has he spent his time fucking making mall rats? And
hey, leave mall rats alone.
And Jiggly and stupid shit like that, instead of focusing on
yoga
hosers. Fucking love.
He does a damn good. Joe, he does a damn good podcast. Okay.
No, he does a great podcast, and I really, but like watch a couple episodes of the Comic Book Men and see like the passion that you actually know exists in this
I know, Joe,
for the
but
genre of material that exists.
But sometimes
whatever material, the amount of material.
Sometimes you're not always great at what you're the most passionate about. But I do think it is an interesting question, and maybe something we'll do a whole breakdown on in the future. We got the John Haymaker. Hey, great to see you, Jackie. But yeah, I will definitely be popping in trivia soon.
I do. Father of bears. I absolutely do, Kyle.
We've got Jay SM Down. How you been? Phil the Issues Guy. Great to see you. Great to see you, mother grabbers, in the live chat. I know Seth Rogen's really. Oh, we already talked about this. I think you were just scared. I'll beat it. You at it again. Jackie C. It's on. Competition. Joe and I will do a trivia night too at some point in time too. We've been wanting to do. We've definitely done that with music trivia. In fact, I have a music trivia book maybe we'll get to before the end of the night. What happened to the countdown? Viltrumites are literally globetrotters. Captain says the Viltrumites are really OP. Even the toughest Earth heroes, like the Immortals, still can't hurt them. We did see in the second episode. In the second episode, we saw that they seem to be somewhat weak to sonic waves, maybe? Could that be one of their kryptonites? Joe needs a chocolate-covered pretzel. I do have bark thins in the other room. I highly recommend bark thins if anyone's never tried.
Captain's wrong in that they're OP. They're not OP because there's always someone that's the strongest in the fucking room, no matter what. It's like if you watch the Andre the Giant special on HBO or whatever fucking streaming service it's on.
Oh, it's on HBO. It's great.
Where they really get into it. There's a moment in time where Hulk Hogan is talking and he's like, no matter what, no matter who is in that ring, no matter what you guys discussed, we discussed beforehand who's winning, who's losing. Yeah, Andre said, okay, I'm going to win. But really, it's up to him.
Joe.
Because no matter what, when everybody's in that ring, he is the strongest, the biggest and the strongest in that ring by fucking
Joe, I don't want
tenfold.
I don't want to spoil anything, but I just from stuff I've read ahead. But all I will say is, anyone want a peanut? No, all I will say is that Freddie Mercury is still yet to come. Smith should make Clerks 3. Red State was a masterpiece. I just finished episode 3. It was so great. Americus, I agree. This was maybe my favorite episode, or one of my two favorite episodes last season.
In both seasons, this is definitely my favorite episode.
This is the finale one.
Episode, the episode where the train, he fucking holds Invincible through the
season. It's either the season finale of last year or this one. I agree.
That was the finale.
That
was the finale.
I believe it was the finale.
Scene?
Yeah, I think it was the finale of last year. The first.
Either way, those 3 episodes are top 3.
Yeah.
And you can.
Joe, I am actually so excited that you like this episode this much too, because I was afraid, because I was loving it. I was gushing over this
episode was.
So
listen, maybe this episode was so much better because last episode,
because you didn't enjoy
really felt weak, but I really did enjoy this episode. I felt like to me I was watching a comic book. Phil, and you don't understand how happy I am you said that, because I would have had no idea this was
this was
the bulk
so
of this episode was like a frame.
I guess it was. I think it was issue 22 and issue 0, because they did after everything that happened. They did an issue 0 that showed kind of what Mark was doing during this little break time, going to college and stuff. And then the Alan the alien stuff, I believe, is issue 22. But you know what time it is, Joe? It's time for a recap.
And remember, everybody who wants this recap, the Super Chat donations are open, and Patreon and all his other links are up there. We got some hard alcohol we want to drink, and we can't do that until you guys start donating to that Super Chat.
Oh, Joe, pander.
Hey, somebody's got a shill for you, Phil.
Thank you.
Somebody's got a shill for you.
No, you just want to get drunk.
To beg.
You just want to get drunk. Notice how you waited till I was jumping around like an idiot after that one. Oh gosh. Okay, so let's get into our recap, and I want to thank taking the day to do it, because we have to thank comicbook.com for supplying this recap. That's what we need to do. Okay, so yes, the recap dance. It's been a while, so I'm out of shape. So I might. Lotus, get out of there.
Oh, dude, I almost Christophered fucking Stacha this morning.
Oh,
I
you
almost sat down. Katie let out a shriek and pushed me as I.
Joe, Katie and I would definitely. It's funny you mentioned that because after that recap dance, I'm breathing like Tony Soprano.
I'm Christopher and shit. You're Tony Soprano.
I'm Tony Soprano right now. I'm huffing and puffing like Tony. But Katie and I would definitely have to have an intervention for you. That would be horrible. Okay.
That'll do it. I was fucking almost in tears. I almost fully sat on her.
And
I got up 2 minutes and came back and she was in my seat and she almost died.
And we do have the voicemail and text line if you guys want to call in at 781-990-8509. Anyways, they have this separated in different parts. This episode starts off with college stuff. Debbie is dropping Mark off at college. It's an emotional mother-son goodbye. What's funny or interesting about this scene as they dropped off, she tells him not to do drugs. And they have there's a couple funny moments that date back to just age-old superhero questions. You had talked about Kevin Smith. You could say that the conversation about the super sperm later connects to the Mallrats conversation that Jason Lee was having. But in this part, we do the whole drug thing. Like, so what?
Of course, the girlfriend's like, "Yeah, let's have sex." Dude, of course.
Yeah,
we're not there yet.
Yeah, but we'll get there in a second. But it is interesting to question whether drugs and alcohol would work on Mark. I don't know. You don't.
Well,
can Superman get drunk?
Yeah. See, it all depends on physiology more than anything.
Right. I mean, I know the Flash can't get drunk. We've dealt with that in several different versions of the Flash because his whatever goes
being so high.
Exactly. So we know that, but I don't know about a Superman or a Viltrumite. Alcohol might have the same kind of effect or it might be even more effective. It's hard to imagine that a hallucinogen of some sort wouldn't work on a Viltrumite.
Right, and here's the thing: who knows what is or isn't a hallucinogen to them? Right, like there's one point like, listen, you can eat a lot of things in this world, and some of that shit will fucking kill you. Other things can eat it like it's nothing.
Yeah,
like they're supposed to eat it, even though for you it would be the death of you in an instant.
There's certain foods that dogs will eat and will kill them.
What a fucking apples of all things, right? Trip the Viltrumite out.
Yeah.
Right, like fucking LSD style.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck knows? You never know what is and isn't, something that's good or bad for another species, another fucking life form.
Couple of interesting comments in the live chat from Mark.
Who knows?
America says maybe for Mark, the human side. John Haymaker asks if Superman can get high. Kyle says drugs work on soups, but they're all technically humans. Captain says the drugs and alcohol thing is a good question. Mark and Omni-Man were hospitalized in the first season. I think they were on IV drips. And Jay adds, Superman can't get drunk. Flash can get drunk if you get special alcohol that will kill a normal person that drank it. But Superman can't get drunk unless you add some magic in there. So I don't know. It's interesting to ask the question. Mark is half human. So as somebody pointed out in the live chat, as America's pointed out in the live chat, so it is an interesting question to ask, and I'm wondering something we will explore. I don't mean if we go to other shows and other stuff, we do know that characters in the Boys universe definitely use drugs. We've definitely seen some stuff in DC and Marvel and different universes and comic lines, speaking of Frank Miller, where superheroes have used drugs. But I don't know about Mark, and I don't know about Viltrumites. We'll have to see soon. So dorm life, Mark and William start living in a dorm together. They set up two different lifestyles. Mark is more geeky, childish. The boys have the sock in the door conversation. Mark also has an emotional...
What's your answer to that?
Sock in the door?
Yeah.
Can I watch? No.
My answer is definitely no. Sorry, motherfucker. You want to fuck? I'm still coming in. I'm going to sit on my bed and I'm going to watch, or you're going to go fuck somewhere else because this is my bedroom. And if I got to study, if I got to sleep, if I got to fucking jerk off, all three of those things happen in this room. And if you're fucking in that bed, it makes jerking off that much easier.
Oh, joke. So speaking of childish philosophy. No, I thought I thought it was. Sorry, I was trying to transition to what I wanted to talk about. But what I thought they did the Toy Story thing really well. With him throwing out his toys, I felt that, and grabbing the last toy in the moment.
What was the first thing?
The collectibles.
These are your toys, and he said collectibles. Dude,
were you tingling? Were you tingling?
No, my immediate thing was no, they're not. No,
because they weren't they weren't in the boxes.
Thank you.
And they weren't
sealed.
See all
this shit out here? This is not collectibles.
No, Larry has the collectibles.
See, okay, hold on. Like this, that's a collectible. See, it's in its package. It's graded hard plastic package. Over there in the corner, we got a something else in its package. A Missive. We got a Dead album in its package still. Like some things, yeah, I guess are, but a lot of this shit, no, man, not collectibles, not in its package. You know, the sword that I have up there, the long claw, no longer a collectible because that box is long fucking gone.
Yeah,
like maybe somebody wants to buy it for a little bit, but like, no, that's my toy.
Exactly, it's a big difference.
Gets broken on the first zombie I hit it with, I'm sure.
we got a voicemail from our good buddy Jay, and anyone can call in. And if you want to call in on off hours leading into our season finale next week, you can call it in 781-990-8509. That number is good. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Let's see. Let's see what Jay has to say to us tonight.
Hey, if you guys want another comic book show that has a definitive ending, Doom Patrol definitely has a definitive ending.
Doom Patrol.
It's totally not happy. And like, I don't want to spoil it, but like, it totally has a definitive ending. I don't know if the show is going to take it there, but like, there's one. All right, later.
It got canceled, unfortunately.
Yeah. Did it? Okay. So
I think so. I'm pretty sure.
Season 3 I watched, I think it's up. I'm pretty sure first 2 seasons we watched. Season 3 started, and we were just like, we were done at that point. With the first season with Alan Tudyk, that was great. Loved it. Season 2 was okay. Season 3, I was just like, eh.
So everybody, if you're watching right now, please hit the like button. Share this out as many people as you can. Share it out. And
is that the right number, Phil?
Yeah, it is 781-990-8509. Calling in. Feel free, or text on in if you're shy. So let's go. Because you're drinking, it's flipped around. You're having drunk dyslexia.
Drunken me.
So dorm life. So Mark and William. I like the relationship between Mark and William. It reads really real. The friendship reminds me of just the way they talk to each other, the vibe that they have, the back and forth between the two of them, the fact that one of them has a nicer room. I do like that. Everything, if you look closely at some of William's posters, he's got a Lady Jaja instead of Lady Gaga. He's got like, they're all sort of like off takes of real things, because, you know, I like when shows do that. You know, you don't need to necessarily.
Preacher was good for a little bit.
Preacher was really good as well. A lot of people, that's that answer to what the best in. Okay, so by the time we get back to Mark leaves for a second, and Mark quickly observes how the place is. He throws out his toys, but keeps one of them. He keeps his favorite dog, Seance Dog. People that are fans of the comic series will know that it's actually, in the comics, it's Science Dog, not Seance Dog. It's not necessarily a Doctor Strange takeoff. Kirkman has hinted in interviews that the reason why they didn't use Science Dog was some contractual shit, because it became its own comic line that I think he lost control of, so he couldn't get the name, so they changed it to Seance Dog, which works obviously all right in any way, but that's one minor change from comic stuff. By the time he gets back to the room, William has a sock hanging on the door, and it works for Mark. He heads to Crash and Amber's house, which leads to a fun sex scene where they're talking about all those fun things that you would talk about, and Amber takes control of the situation, which is awesome for Mark. I like how they filmed him blushing at one point. I'm not gonna crush you. Glenn plays this so good. He voices this character
Who
exceptionally.
has sex on the first day of school?
Well, we can tonight, Joe. If you want to come over right now, we can do it right now. And they talk about, she straight up says super sperm. She quotes a Wu-Tang song. She says the super sperm.
Listen, and fucking yep.
Oh, we're gonna get to the one.
She bought condoms. She poked holes in every single one of those fucking condoms. And then resealed it. Dude, of course you get knocked up by the fucking superhero.
You don't trust anybody.
I'm gonna have super baby. One way.
I know you are, but you're a sick prick. So, America's. I want to put.
That's what she's saying.
Thank you.
Not me.
Sure, Joe. Thank you for saying that, Americus, because I don't want to forget this when it does come up, and in case this person's recap doesn't mention this. But we saw that amazingly cute one-eyed cat. But that cat had one eye. But did anyone notice what that cat had two of? Two asses, two buttholes. It had two anuses.
Two buttholes. Or did it have two buttholes, or was it a female cat?
No, it had two buttholes. I'm pretty sure.
I said two buttholes as well.
I am voting for two buttholes. Do I have to put a poll? I might have to put a poll because I say two buttholes, Joe. And the crowd agrees with me. Okay, so let's.
I think the poll should go up, Phil.
The poll did the cat. I don't know if my poll has to go up for that one, Joe.
Yeah, your poll's already up, Phil.
The one-eyed, yeah, exactly. It's the one-eyed cat Blood Raven. We're gonna call that cat one-eyed Blood Raven. The dog guy took me by surprise because I didn't remember that part. Exactly, it was a random freaking dog. Preacher was really good, John. Haymaker. First time in a long time Debbie is alone with sad. Sandra Oh plays this character so exceptional. And I know that's an expansion from the comics as well. They're giving Debbie more agency. Let me get my double camera here. I think Joe's ready for shots, and he's going to get the crow. He's like, if you guys aren't donating, I'm taking shots anyway.
I got beers.
Okay, let me set up a poll. We're gonna set up a poll here while Joe's figuring this out. Did the cat have two bee holes?
He's taking the first shot.
Good, we got Miss Crow in the house.
The crow's going down first.
Crow down. Crow down.
Wait. That's not the right. Did it have two buttholes or was it female?
Well, if it's understood,
because otherwise it's understood what?
It's understood that if they vote the other direction, that's what they're saying, Joe.
No, because nobody's gonna understand.
I'm not they understand because they're listening. You're explaining your point, and I'm making it clear because YouTube is horrible, and they'll block us if I verbalize that in the wrong way. Yes, two buttholes, one eye, just like Blood Raven. I think Jackie C is onto it.
No.
Okay.
The female Psy cat.
Joe, so we to get into this part, because let's get into this cat right here. We go. Toast to you. Toast to everybody.
To two buttholes.
Cheers to everybody. So we go from the sex scene with Amber and Mark, which was a very well done scene, and the way they transition out of this is freaking hilarious. We talked about it before. They get the one and only Mr. Peanut Butter, Paul F. Tompkins, to do the voice of the narrator here. And the narrator comes in and goes, "Wait a minute, everybody. Let's give these kids some alone time and let's get to something else." It was so awesome. Joe mentioned how much this feels like a comic. I didn't know. You don't.
Oh, wait, Katie.
The narrator comes in here in just such an exceptionally fun way, Joe. And Paul F. Tompkins.
Can I interrupt you real quick?
Of course.
I want Crow to tell everybody what she thought. Real quick, one sentence of last week's episode. Not this week's, last week.
Why are you making her talk about last week's?
Just bear with me.
That was the whole interdimensional explanation episode.
The fish one.
I don't know.
The fish one.
The whole thing has got. Oh, I don't know. The whole thing's got weird, man.
Did you like this week's episode?
I don't know. It's like weird and in an uncomfortable, choppy way. Like, I don't necessarily get what they're going for this season.
Okay.
Fair
and
enough.
I'm not a big fan of the multiverse thing. It's like way overdone at this point. Everyone's fucking doing it. It's the new zombie. Enough with it. Not a fan of the multiverse.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
People, there you go. We got some Crow information, and people want to know what that art is. That is Joe's drawings that he did. We're gonna get some of Joe's drawings on some t-shirts and some merch for you guys to be able to purchase coming up soon. We have to figure out which designs you guys want, but we will put those stuff on some shirts for you guys coming up soon. But those are some of Joe's drawings. He's cycling through them this evening on his freeze.
This one is basically Eddie from like all the Iron Maiden albums and t-shirts and shit. It's my copy of that, I guess. My take on looking at one and drawing it. The others are different things that I saw, places that I was like, ooh, I want to draw that. But yeah, it's all stuff I've drawn.
Yep, and we're gonna force Joe to draw all sorts of other stuff. We're ever talking about a show, and we want to.
You can see it all on my Instagram, Dirty Locks Instagram, spelled the same way.
Yep, make sure you follow Joe on Instagram. Yeah, Joe is an amazing artist as well. Joe is a man of many talents.
I taught myself. I never drew until 2017, and I taught myself how to draw, and now I can draw.
Yeah.
And my next project is guitar. I'm going to teach myself at least one Jack Johnson, one Jane's Addiction, and one other song. So
you might see
parties,
Joe and I.
All the people be like, "Ooh, he's so hot."
Look at him. He doesn't just look like the guy from the Counting Crows. He's actually playing the song too.
From Rage.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
From Rage.
So let's
Rage or Corn, either one of those.
Joe, let's get into this.
Crows, God damn it.
Let's get into this.
They all stole my look, by the way.
I
stole Barai's look.
Joe, let's get into this. So Amber and Mark are about to have sex. The narrator comes in and breaks it up, and we go, let's open up this universe a little bit. And Invincible opens things up, and we learn the origin of Alan the alien, who gets a full origin montage. Turns on Alan is the champion of this Unopian race who are genetically bred to be So anyways, they get their ass kicked by the Vulturmites. They're like connected to nature. They're this like super species kind of thing. They come in and kick their ass. They bide their time, make a fight back. It's not good enough. So they decide to get these genetically engineered versions of themselves to try to build somebody to be able to fight these Vulturmites. One of the many genetic experiments that they're working on actually works, and that's Alan the alien. And Alan the alien tries to fight them and ends up getting his ass kicked and coming back. I know something about Alan the alien. I don't know if it's a spoiler, so I don't want to talk about it right now. I could say spoiler warning and mention it, Joe, but...
fuck you, do it.
Should I?
Do it now. Do it now.
You want me to do it? Should I? Okay.
Do it. Spoiler.
Spoiler warning. Mute this for the next 15 minute or so, as I'm going to spoil something about Alan moving forward. We see Alan at the end of this episode. Basically, we think...
That's a long explanation. 15 minutes.
No, I said 15 seconds. I was going to say 15 seconds, but a minute.
Okay, yeah.
Give me a couple of minutes here. So Alan is genetically crafted in a way that every time he's defeated, when he comes back a little stronger. So he's not gone. Next time he's going to be coming back, whatever.
Defeated how?
Defeated in the fight.
Killed?
Maybe. So maybe when Optimus Prime cut off his whatever, and I don't know anything, this isn't any spoiler, this is speculation. Maybe when he was trying to kill him, because every time he comes back from the dead, he comes back stronger. Like, I don't know.
Like, just let's keep killing him 20 more times.
Right, it's like Hulk when he gets angrier, essentially. So every time
he doesn't die. He needs to die, though.
Yeah, Doomsday style, in a sense. Like, every time... I don't know the specifics are on it. I'm speaking very generalized. Spoilers, just about over. But he comes back, and every time he comes back stronger. Is essentially the point.
Damn it! I need a fucking compendium.
Yes, you do. So that's it.
I do. I really do.
I don't want to spoil anything more other than to say that Alan's not going anywhere. But anyways.
I hate going into the ship blind, Phil.
Now, Grimace shit. Felicia, we got Felicia in the live chat as well. Good to see Felicia. This is a cool drawing we get cord. Doomsday
That hurts my heart too.
To spoil or not to spoil? That is the question.
It's not a question. You always spoil.
You just give the warnings. Okay, spoilers over. Joe, don't mention that again from this point on.
You need a graphic, Phil.
We do.
You need a graphic to tell people that the spoiler's coming, and then
now that I've read it
over, because if they're muted, how are they going to know we're not talking about spoilers still?
But then they're not going to hear it.
But so you need the graphic to come up.
Oh yeah, I know what you're saying. Oh, okay.
Come back now. Unmute. Spoiler.
Right. Like basically what I would need. I know exactly what you're saying. I need something that just says
spoiler start, spoiler done.
Yeah. Spoilers. Beware. Yeah. Spoilers.
Spoiler over. Spoilers over.
Like I spelt it wrong, but something like that, and then it comes off and on. Yeah. Right. Like that. Yeah. There we go. Okay.
Spoiler.
Okay, so it's over though. We're done. We're done with that. It's been finished. We've spoilered. It's over. Okay, so Alan's origin is we get his whole origin thing. So he failed at his task. He got his ass kicked by a Viltrumite, and they specify that he can't even beat just one. So they turn him into sort of an errand boy for the super species or for the multi-planet thing. Joe's holding my cat right now. So he starts running errands and stuff like that. So then we find Alan being tasked with he reports to the whole council. Again, I think this is beat for beat from the comics, and we get the voice of Optimus Prime, who leads the council. He brings him off over to the side afterwards and says, "There's a mole in our ranks." Oh my goodness.
Oh, there's a call.
How do I take this?
Hit the green button phone.
I guess. Jay, you're actually live with us right now. Can you hear me?
Hey, what's up? No, I didn't expect you to answer.
I didn't expect to have it actually ring. I thought I was just gonna send a voicemail, but it rang, so we're gonna take your call. What's going on, man? What's up?
Hey, what's up? I was just gonna say you don't actually need to write anything. You could just throw up a hand signal or whatever. Like it'd be like
flash the blood sign.
You just need a visual signal of some sort. You
No,
could just, throw up a peace sign or F you or whatever. Like you could throw up your hand and just be like, hey, when I raise my hand, that's when the spoilers stop.
Fair. No, good point, Jay, and great call, my friend. No, I agree that we could do something with that.
Baby.
No, we don't need to do that. He's saying you put your hand on the pan goes down. Come on.
I like it. Anything.
It's a good point. So
it is a good point. So you need something. You need to at least explain it to the people before you like when I go like this, it's done. When it starts, it ends.
Alas, poor Dirty Locks. I knew him well. Okay, so Alan's origin, the whole thing. He tells the whole board or the Jedi Council there about Mark Grayson, and they seem to. It's a big deal since the Purge. Do you know what the Purge was, Joe? Do you remember that? The Purge basically was. Nolan explains it in the season finale last year. It's when the Viltrumites got to a certain point where they were just like, we need to make sure we have the strongest ones, and it actually hamstrung them because it cut their ranks in half. They just sort of had a bloodbath.
There was a civil war basically.
Essentially, where the strong survived.
The Viltrumites wanted to conquer the galaxy
because
some of them were like, hey, let's just play well with the galaxy.
No. It wasn't that. It was that we all want to conquer the galaxy, but to do it the best way, we need to have the strongest blood, essentially. So if we all kill ourselves, the ones that actually survive are the strongest ones. So that there you go.
But here, that ends with just one. Like that ideology ends with just one because. If we're either all the
I want to say another.
How do you decide we are on a team together because I can obviously kill you, meaning You should be one of the ones.
Fair,
that are
Joe.
dead.
Fair, Joe. It's not a King of the Ring tournament like in the WWF, but that
Right, so there had to be more than just like sides.
that
like
being
that. And I thought it was, from what I had remembered from the season, it was some of them were like, we don't want to just conquer them all and make them all
maybe
subjects and slaves, but we want to be able to play nice, even though we're going to rule.
Possibly.
Right?
I'm sure we'll get more information on that moving forward. But
like,
Joe,
I'll have to watch the explanation again.
Me too. Now that I'm more invested.
Or read it. I need a fucking compendium.
And I do want to again mention that. No, I am not going to do more spoilers. Okay, so Alan talks to Optimus Prime. He's going to figure out who the mole is. He ends up hooking up with his tentacle girl.
Is that the voice to Optimus Prime?
It is the voice of Optimus Prime. Peter.
To which series?
The guy. Peter.
So when we were 7?
Yeah, Peter Cullen. He's the guy who always does it. He does it even in the Michael Bay movies. It's the same guy.
He does the the Optimus Prime voice has never changed.
Not yet. Knock on wood. So
I did not know that. I wouldn't have wow.
Yeah.
Phil,
No, it's.
Man.
I did.
Wow.
Do it. You got to do it in the Johnny
I never
Carson
even
voice.
looked it up. Like, I was
did
a
not do
huge
that.
Transformers guy. I didn't know that, man.
Captain says no, they stopped killing at some point, and then another thing happens, and I won't spoil that, and I don't know what that is, so we will see it at some point, and there must be one Invincible. John Haymaker will absolutely do a Shakespearean stream at some point in time.
I knew there was a reason I liked the Transformers movies.
So
now I know.
so Alan, we get into one of the most hilarious moments in narrator history here. As Alan meets up with his girlfriend, they start to have tentacle sex. When the narrator butts in again, he's like, "Let's get away from that." And we go to Mark, and Mark's having sex, and then we have this like orgasm moment where we hear like double orgasms from both sides as the announcer starts going, "Oh, look at this cat!
Look at this." Yes. Now we should talk about. We have 13 votes. It's been long enough.
69% say that double asshole.
I want to know, if you're one of my 30, give me a fucking shout out in that chat.
Yeah, they want to know, do you think it's a girl?
There's only like 4 people,
so,
me and 3 others.
I love the dialogue in that scene too, where the announcer goes, imagine all the great adventures that that this house cat has. As you're hearing orgasms on both sides, it was done really freaking well, and great sound design. Oh, and I
69 perfecto, yeah, and that poll right there, Phil.
Yeah, no, I ended it at the right time. I also want to mention that I forgot to mention, as with the title card, the Alan the Alien title card leading into his scene, they played a perfect song. I hadn't heard it before. A song called "When You Want Me" by Spielberg. Or not Spielberg, yeah, Steven Spielberg, but Spielberg or something like that. A great song, and the use of music. Whoever's designing the music and the sound effect, the sound design is doing an excellent job this season. At the end of the episode, the music as he leads into meeting his father was done really well too, and it just all cuts right in that moment. But the music with the Alan the Alien stuff was really cool done.
Captain's blowing my mind again.
Joe, take over. I got to go fill my drink.
He's Optimus Prime, and he's also the Predator in the Predator franchise. He does the clicky noises. Okay, Captain, you got to get on this now. Does he do the clicky noises from the beginning, from the start of, the original Arnold Schwarzenegger movie? When does he start doing the clicky noises, and has he done them all since? I don't know if we've ever heard them talk to each other, and if they have, has he been one of the voices for that? Those are questions that I want answered, and it'd be nice if you could answer them so I don't have to look them up on my own. So yeah, that's good information too. Dude, honestly, since Phil said this, and I've spaced out about half the shit he said since.
Yeah, you block out half of what I say anyway, right?
No, because I've been thinking about, like, listen, I'm listening to Optimus Prime's voice from the fucking movies, and I'm like, I was a huge Transformers fan when I was in middle school and shit. G.I. Joe, Transformers, He-Man from grade school, middle school, and shit, like big big fan of that stuff. Mask, I don't know, remember Mobile
Oh
Armor,
yeah,
fucking
the mask
Break
toys.
Man,
Yeah, I mean,
Thundercats, like these things
GoBots,
were my fucking
or
thing. GoBots was before Transformers. I had GoBots before I had Transformers, and I was like, what the fuck? I got GoBots. You bought me GoBots, Mom? And then like 5 years later, I'm still playing with my GoBots, and I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, the originals.
Joe, I'm glad
Too bad they're not collectibles in the fucking package.
Because you played with them too much. But excuse me, sorry about that. I do want to say that I'm glad you mentioned the mask toys because those get forgotten about. Okay, so so Alan.
So anyway, no, I want to finish what I was saying about.
Yep.
So I was thinking I've been playing scenes in my head of Optimus Prime from those movies talking, and no shit,
yeah, it's totally
like that's the same fucking voice, and I can't believe I just assumed or didn't even assume it. Just fucking like, why would I have even thought any different? Maybe I didn't even think that it was someone else or not, or still him, because
Joe,
the voice was just the fucking same to me. Like look at I'm a fan of Rick and Morty, and one of the main voices of that, Royland, he's gone. He's no longer in it this season. And there are moments when the other actors are doing the dialogue, you definitely know that is not him.
Joe,
it is not him doing it, and there's none of that. I never once thought to myself, that's not Optimus Prime's voice.
Joe,
I never once thought anything like that. Sorry.
No, Joe, we have a super chat, but someone sent me it on the Cash App, which the Cash App is at Phil
Katie
is money sign Phil the Issues guy, and they say Phil and Joe, and it is Kelly J. Phil and Joe. Invincible, what is the thing you want to see happen the most after Mark meets Nolan again? I mean, I just want to see what the next thing that happens. I think this episode cut off at one of the best cliffhangers I've seen, in the sense that it cut off at the right point, but right when I wanted to see what the reaction was. So I feel like what I want to see more than anything out of the reaction of Mark and Nolan is how Mark is going to react. Is he going to punch him, or is he going to hug him? You know, like it's going to be one or the other. And I would say he's probably more likely to embrace him.
So what planet is he on? He's on some bug world that no doubt they've already conquered, because this guy was willing to take 6 weeks out of his fucking life.
Or he conquered it. Or he conquered it on his own, because these bugs die
conquered.
They die in 9 months, so like it's easy.
Know if that's true. He's lied about everything.
No.
46 billion.
Yeah, but
you want a number? Not just all of us? Oh yeah.
I believe that they die quick. Okay, his filmography only mentions the original Predator. Okay, Defenders of the Earth, he did the original noises.
This shit's got a cork. Really? I've never had Grey Goose before, apparently.
Joe, let's get into
bars only.
Let's get into the end of Alan here. So the narrator, after the whole narrator moment, that is pretty freaking hilarious. Wait, Katie,
what did you say? You think that Dad's trying to prove what?
That he can be a benevolent leader and he's not a conqueror.
What do you think of that, Phil?
It's going to be interesting to see where that character keeps going. I do know he is a big part of the series.
That's not a camera, that's a microphone.
It works. I heard the clink. So Alan, after post-sex, they go to a diner to have some food. They have some worms. Again, this is right out of the comic. She has a dish that's eating the worms on the plate. And it's kind of a funny scene as they go back and forth. And out of nowhere, the way he talks about the mole situation, and you just see how quickly these guys can attack. Their speed is insane. They grab him out of there. They rip him through. The force field sets up and protects everyone in the diner. They bring him out there. They get into a fight, and they're like, tell us everything you know about this Invincible situation, about one of these, is about the person that left Earth. We need to know everything. And Seth Rogen plays this, just from a voice acting standpoint, really, really well. Like he knows he's overmatched and they're not going to let him live no matter what, so why give any information? And they rip him apart in as horrible a way, as crazy as last season was. I think it's intense because it's Mark, it's a character it's his dad doing to him. But what these three did to Alan the alien was some medieval shit. And as Joe and I were saying earlier, it really helped encompass how much more powerful these guys are than everybody else. Alan's no slouch at this point, and these three just take him apart. And it's done in this horribly interesting, bloody way. Let's go into the live.
Hey, don't, before you go into the live chat. I'm sorry, I was away for a second there. I was talking with Katie.
But we got the dwarf burger in the live chat.
Nice, dwarf. How you doing, Mr. Dwarfkin?
He's 6 shots in. He's feeling invincible.
Very nice. So, Katie had a great idea, and I know the fans love a good crow, and we should do the Crowpinion. Just a little Crowpinion segment like we just did earlier. So.
Oh, where she flies in and gives us a couple.
Where she flies in and gives us a couple fucking ba bings.
So she doesn't have to commit. She doesn't have to commit to a whole show.
She doesn't have to commit to the whole show. She doesn't have to sit here and then we like start ragging on something she loves and she's trying to defend it and we're both ganged up on her. Or you two gang up on me, or we two gang up on you. There's none of that feeling. She just comes in and she says, Gah! And then fucking flies out.
Americus, and I think it's an excellent idea. Americus.
And that's it.
What's going to happen if I get like The Walking Dead. I was just going to be a negative voice in it. And so.
And she doesn't want to shit on other people's good time.
No.
Yeah, she's not a crow that shits on people's head.
Like balanced opinion or like this is good, but this is wrong, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. But I don't want to just be all negative. That's not cool.
And I love to shit in the fucking parade route.
Yeah, me. Yeah. I like to hate as much as I like to love. Okay.
Like, if the parade deserves to be shit in front of,
so let's
shit in front of the parade.
I let Joe do his thing.
So as we continue here, I don't think it's a spoiler to say something about the Viltrumites that's specific about them as they get stronger as they get older. Alan is a real boss. He's willing to die rather than give them anything. It's an amazing scene as we watch Alan give himself up. And the Viltrumites weren't even trying. That's the scary thing. They weren't. They were playing with him. They were treating him like a plaything. And Joe, we talked about that earlier though, but it's hard to not necessarily shock me, but it's not about shocking me with this show. It's about the violence being used effectively emotionally. And this was emotional. This was a well done, emotional, violent, crazy fight that showed how much stronger these Viltrumites are than anybody else. And it's done fucking great. Yep. So as the Alan portion ends,
well, it was 3 versus 1, and I'm pretty sure he didn't throw a single.
He didn't have an opportunity to. They were too quick.
No. He had opportunity to. There was talk in between. He could have gone for a shot. He could have made an attempt. He could have tried to run. He could have done anything, but he didn't, Phil. He stood there. He looked back. He could have gotten out of the view of his girlfriend, right? He could have put himself in a place that made it so she didn't have to witness him getting murdered, right? But he didn't. He didn't try to run. He didn't try to hide. He didn't try to fight back. He talked shit, and he let them do whatever they were going to do to him.
And I also want to add that I forgot to mention.
I think there's got to be a reason for that.
And he's also on life support after the fight. They don't finish the job. He survives it, and then when he's in the hospital, Optimus Prime, Thaddeus, shows up and he sends her off, and it seemingly he is the rat or he is the mole, and he takes Alan the alien off of life support. And that is our situation right there.
Is he the rat? Is he the mole?
I don't know. We'll have to see next week. But he did take.
Couldn't be, because why would he?
I don't think
Like,
so.
the leader of them all is the.
I think she's. I actually think she is.
You think his girlfriend is? And
I think
that's why he did it to, like, he died in front of her to make her feel it.
I think she might be. Personally, that's that. But anyways, so
I think we were meant to think she is, because she was like, tell me. But, like, dude, sit in your fucking couch and your spouse says to you, so and so, but I can't. And you say, oh, yeah, you can. Tell me all about it. And they go, no, all right.
we got
most of the time, if not 90% of the time. So, like, I think you're supposed to think that.
No, they played it that way, and they played it to make you think that no, it's Thaddeus, it's Optimus Prime, but I don't know about that either. Mark A.
Especially because of your spoiler.
Exactly. So exactly. My spoiler definitely affects that situation, Joe. It definitely does. So we got Mark A. Houston, who is loving the process of this fucking show. Mark, great to see you in the live chat. Okay, so as we cut away from they don't cut away from they end with credits from the Alien stuff. It's really well done. And we cut back into the Guardians of the Globe, where we get Jason Mantzoukas, who went to my high school, having a confrontation with Duplicate over the relationship with the Immortal. It's a funny scene. It's probably my favorite Rexplode scene so far. We talked about it earlier, where he's just like trying to suss out why she broke up with him, and she's dating a 2,000-year-old dude, and she's just like, you're an asshole, and he's like, yeah, so you, and then he starts rationalizing the fact that he's a cheater. All the times I die. Yeah, I don't think it works that way. It doesn't work that way
unless she remembers everything that her multiples.
No, what she should have said, Joe, not that it matters, whatever, you like who you like, I don't care, but these are characters, not real people. What she should have said in that moment, what the dialogue should have been in that moment, this is one of my little gripes, I think the dialogue should have been changed to just talking about he died as many times as I have. He's died so many times that I connect with him. He's the only person that gets what it's like to die as many times as I've died, not lived as many years. Instead, she does
say that too. She says that also, and he's died as many times.
Right, that is relevant. The fuzzy math with the lived as many years, like what, like that? No.
Well, yes, yeah. If, like I was saying, if each multiple that she creates of herself, she retains the memories and experiences of that multiple, then yes, absolutely. Yeah. And that's something that intrigued me. Otherwise, just because she makes a copy of herself doesn't necessarily mean that's her. That's a copy of her, and who cares? That's why they all have numbers. However, if she controls all of them, if she's the thought behind
right,
all
or are
of them,
they all individual?
The memory of all of them, then yes, that time adds up.
You're getting into philosophy.
I am.
Therefore I am.
And that's
that
what
kind
the
of
show
stuff
started making me think of. And
that's what it should do.
I wanted to know more about that. Now,
get a compendium.
Converse to you. Yes, I need a compendium. In converse to you, Phil, I thought if that's none of that of what I just said is true, if they are just copies, then A, it doesn't matter about the amount of time they lived like you thought, and B, it doesn't matter how many times those other ones have died. That's not you.
That's not the real you. So is it? But I don't think it's that way. I think it's more. So
if it matters that they died, then it's gotta matter about the life as well.
Captain is saying, I think
adds up.
Captain saying, I think all the Kates are connected. Kyle says she remembers and feels the death of her clones. I'm pretty sure. John Haymaker, Jason Mantzoukas once played doing a podcast live. You met him once. I didn't know him too well. Excuse me. But the first time I saw Jason Mantzoukas was he did in the senior show. They would do the senior show every year at my school. Or was it a junior show? I forget. But he played he was a drummer in high school. and because we didn't really have a theater department.
Sorry, I think this dude's a fucking dick. I can't stand his fucking voice. Every time I fucking hear
that's why
every time I see
that's
him on
why
screen,
he
I'm
plays.
like, why?
That's why
why
he
does this motherfucker have a career? I don't understand it. He's not funny. His voice is fucking annoying. He looks like a fucking schmuck. He acts like a dick constantly.
That's the character.
Dick is he sucking? I don't understand. Pussy is he eating? Asses? Who's eating out his ass that he's allowing to eat out his ass? I don't fucking understand how this dude has
Michael Ovitz. I don't.
Who the fuck are his parents? What rich?
He's a good dude.
Dude, that's all I gotta say.
No,
otherwise,
fair.
There is a couple of things that I've enjoyed him.
He inspired me. My point was he inspired me to play the bongos. Anyways,
to be fair, he has been in some things that I have enjoyed, and I haven't.
And he was a good. He was a damn.
This is one of them.
He was a damn good drummer in high school, and he plays this asshole well.
Yeah, but if I'm gonna be fair, this is the shit I've said to Katie sitting on the couch about this guy. Well before I knew he was from.
Oh no,
from a fucking mile away.
100%. And Dev says it. Dev says it's the same thing as the
Scott. The swamp. He's a swamp head, just like fucking Pauly Shore or some shit.
Or is Devin's mate?
Yeah, Pauly Shore's also from this area.
Yeah, I actually went to a Rockin' Jock at one point that had Pauly Shore. Did it down in Swampscott. He went to Dave Lee Roth also went to our high school.
Dave Lee Roth also. That's who I was trying to think of. Also, like all the guys from Boston live around here.
Yep. One of them dated your.
Oh, the extreme guy from the Manhattan.
No, one of the guys from Boston dated your ex-girlfriend's mother.
Yes, he did.
Anyways, let's continue. Let's continue. We're digressing a little bit, but Devin also mentioned, and I'm going to find a picture of me that I was in kindergarten. I played Pop Warner with Mr. Pizza Review Barstool guy. Okay, so if one of the Doc McPsychedelic says if one duplicate is feeling the other one's orgasm, it's probably she recalls everything. The Weasel, Bobby the Brain Heenan, the Weasel. So let's continue here. So we get in this scene the Shapesmith guy.
Hey, I love you, bro.
Oh, we get the wonderful, the amazing Martin Grant in the live chat right now, checking it out. Even I live around here. Even Martin lives around here. Great to see you in the live chat, Mart. So we got Shapesmith cuts the tension with some antics. We get some small cute story about. Okay, then we get the whole story with Rudy and Monster Girl. I even like this stuff in this episode, Joe. The Monster Girl and Rudy romance situation, and I'm interested to see where the character of Rudy goes. I'm a little worried about him.
Because we're both Data fans.
And it's very good point. It's very Data and Spock. And I also wanted to point some. Thank you for mentioning that because Alan's girlfriend, if you notice, her uniform is very Star Trek, and it's because
good point.
It's because in the Invincible universe, that character is part of a crew that is inspired by the cast of Next Generation that exists in the comic universe. So she's actually wearing a Star Trek inspired uniform. So if you noticed that and you thought that looked kind of Star Trek-y, it's intentional. It's it's another comic kind of thing that they have a Picard. There's like a bald captain and a whatever. Anyways, Dwarf Burger says. They are all the real you, unless the clones are copies. They make clones. Yes, let's get into the philosophy here. Let's break it down. Rudy and Monster Girl have a pretty crazy story arc. I don't know where that story arc goes, but I'm invested in it in a big way, especially Rudy. I do like the voice of Rudy right now. I also like when he's in Robot because then we get speaking of Spock or Data's Quest for Human, they straight up, they don't have Brent Spiner do it, but they have Zachary Quinto, who played Spock at one point in time doing the voice of Robot. He doesn't do the Rudy voice, but he does the voice when he's in the Robot thing. Dwarf Burger says Seth Rogen is a turd-ass burglar muffler. I don't know what that means.
Wow.
So we get.
I guess he's not a fan.
He's not buying the Pineapple Express box set. Joe, we also cut in after we get the whole Rudy and Monster Girl stuff, which is interesting. We get the shapeshifter cutting in a moment too, which is a funny kind of thing with the Martian who is infected by the Superman or the controlling beast, who's a funny thing, but that was fun stuff. Time out.
Come on. I gotta go to Dwarf Burger's comment here for a moment.
About the turd.
Seth Rogen.
The turd burger.
Turd burger ass muffler.
That's interesting.
And I gotta say, I really appreciate that. Like, I just shit all over Mantzoukas. And that just goes to show you that this is a safe space for all of us to shit on those people that we think are ass fucking.
Yeah, even if no one agrees.
Yes, it doesn't matter. You don't like them, we're talking about them. Let us know exactly what you think. Some things they've done that might be good. Most things
the
they've
dwarf,
done suck,
the
whatever.
dwarf. He's also had 6 shots.
I fucking enjoyed fucking Superbad too. I thought that movie was great the first time I saw it, and the scenes that still hold up. Absolutely. He had the series that he had where he's with what's that series we just watched with Rogan? He's the Brewmaster on Apple Plus.
Apple Plus has some good damn shows.
Platonic.
I haven't watched that because I don't have Apple.
Rose Byrne.
I don't have.
Yes.
I don't have Apple Plus at the moment, but Apple Plus has some good shows.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna give you my login when we.
I will follow up on that because I need to rewatch Severance right now. So grief counseling, we get back.
When's season 2 of that shit?
And then we need it. Okay, so
dude, we're doing that.
That's gonna be the first show that you because we did this on the last Sopranos cast. Matt said, if you do Severance, I want to do it. It'll be the first thing that the 3 of us do. And also, hopefully,
all 3 of us then. We're doing it.
And I'm also going to be doing it with Tony on his channel too. So hopefully Tony will bounce over here. So Severance might be the first show that you get everybody together all at once. Okay. So, I want to love you and hug you and call you George. Okay. So, grief counseling. Debbie attends a grief support group meeting. And she gets invited for drinks afterwards with one of the people. They socialize. It takes an awkward turn when Debbie realizes the man she's befriended is actually the husband of the Green Ghost, one of the Guardians and the Omni-Man killed. Debbie eventually breaks down and confesses who she is, pleading for forgiveness. Unfortunately, Green Ghost's husband doesn't have any time for her and spare for her, and he's like, you should have known. You should have known.
You should have.
No. If Katie was a supervillain,
no, she shouldn't have known that. What she should have known was not to show up at the fucking spouse grief.
No,
because your husband killed them all.
Her mistake was mentioning it, saying anything about it. She should have just kept that shit to herself, dude.
No, her mistake, like I said.
Her mistake was mentioning it.
No, her mistake wasn't what I said. And it wasn't what you said. It's what I said originally. Her mistake was when that bitch came over and said, here's a card, call this number.
It wasn't a setup, though.
And then she did call the number, and she was like, oh, no last names, even though she had already said it. And then she goes, but I've been expecting your call. She should have hung up the fucking phone right then and there. Done. Gone. Hung up. Because obviously, no matter what you want to say about, this is anonymous, at that point there, it's not anonymous. The woman that dropped the fucking card off to you and the woman that runs the group, they both know who the fuck you are. Not aside from your husband, killed probably all of their fucking spouses. You going there is a setup. Once she said, I've been expecting your call, she should have hung up the fucking phone, ripped up the card, and the next time she saw Flash's fucking girlfriend, red fucking whatever,
red flag,
fucking punched her right in the fucking mouth. How fucking dare you?
America says Sandra Oh was great.
My husband should have killed you and the fucking spouses too.
Now, Sandra Oh was amazing.
No,
She
maybe
did.
not that, but still, like, she
No,
did a lot of fucking
I like
fun.
where your mind is going tonight, Joe. Sandra Oh was great. She creates so much emotion, and her character so real and believable. I loved every scene she was in. Captain says Debbie should have at least known a little bit about her husband's past. It's weird that she barely got anything out of him. I guess she didn't ask a lot of questions.
Is it? He's got super intellect.
He does. Or did he do like a Superman forget you kiss where he like anything every time she tried to remember
Like
anything?
the options are endless.
Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities
You
here,
are
Joe.
getting sleepy.
You would not believe anything I say. Look at me. I'm
I
lying.
actually have a pocket watch up there too. I should have fucking grabbed it.
Excuse me. Wait. I can do this. I got it, Jeff. I got it.
You got a pocket watch.
I don't have a pocket watch.
Anything.
I have
Anything will work.
I have a Better Call Saul pog on a. Be very careful, Saul Goodman. Saul Goodman is talking to you.
Right, the possibilities are endless.
Actually, it's Mike Ehrmantraut.
Oh, is that your Abrams dog tag there too?
No, they're Better Call Saul dog tags.
Oh, I got my Abrams dog tag back there. So
I forget who. I think it was John.
Abraham.
I think it might have been John Riley that gave it to me. Anyways, okay, so yeah, it was a great
Nice.
it was a great scene. It was emotional.
I miss John C.
Yeah, I talk to him every once in a while. Anyways, so I'll talk to you about that off air. So I have the ability right now to put up a cartoon avatar of me because of John right now.
Oh, so cool.
So unfortunately, this scene goes really bad for Debbie, and we talked about this earlier. Joe, do you blame him for acting this way towards her? Would you have a similar reaction if you were in his position, if you bumped into Debbie knowing that? Would you cast blame upon her? I have a feeling that we're going to see this character again, and he's going to feel bad.
Okay.
He's going to feel bad that he acted this way.
Okay, here's the thing.
It's not her fault.
If someone in my family got murdered by a random person,
Yes.
I have zero ill will towards their family, unless their family was like, "Here's the weapon,
Right,
kill
unless-
this person."
Unless they
in which case they're also part of the killing team. But what happened to your camera?
Yeah, I'll
But
fix it. Give
otherwise, no. I hold no. Like, I should have known. And if I did know, what was I to do? What would you have wanted me to do, dude? Would you have wanted me to go on national TV because everybody that you fucking know and love would have died that much fucking quicker? What would you have wanted me to do? Honestly, tell me now, mister. Should I have sat him down and had a big long talk with the fucking galactic fucking ruling species that's gonna kill fucking everybody? Like
yeah, what's the play?
Honestly,
What's the play? What's the
my
play
fucking
here?
Play
Yeah.
if I did know, asshole. Go fuck yourself. And you know what? I'm glad your fucking bitch wife is dead. No, I'm just kidding.
No. Again, we're
No, but she should have been like, what? Honestly, what's
Again,
my fucking play, asshole?
Phil and Joe are talking about characters, not real people.
Right,
Please
exactly.
remember this. These are cartoon characters and comic book characters that Phil and Joe are talking about. We're not talking about real humans here.
Like, I can't get, like, people do awful shit all the fucking time in this world. And yes, you know, you were raised by your parents, so they most likely had influence, you know, on how you are, your outlook on life in the world and the things you do, right? But ultimately, they're not responsible
no
for
only
your actions, especially when you're, you know, well into your adulthood with children of your own and they're senior citizens. Like,
Joe. I'd like to think
it's
that
just,
I'd like to think the same thing, that if somebody hurt somebody I really cared about, and I wouldn't be angry at that person's family, they have nothing to do with it.
like children kill children, right? Heavy, and I'm sorry for going there, everybody, but like children kill children all the time in this world and in our world. And to a certain extent, parents are responsible for those children's actions. But in the same aspect, if they haven't been like, if they're not fully responsible. And once your child is a certain age, you're not responsible at all for their actions. Now, you may have raised them to be dicks, and you may have raised them to be racist, and you may have raised them to be violent, you may have raised them to be certain things, in which case, morally, you are responsible, but ultimately, they also know the laws of the land, hopefully by the time they're an adult and in walking around in the world, and have been able to, through certain ways, right from wrong. I don't know, it gets really, you know, but no, it's not anybody else's fault but the person that committed the fucking crimes themselves.
Exactly.
Like,
It's the act.
regardless of how you were brainwashed or how you were raised or how you were traumatized or how you were, you know, spoiled or whatever the fucking cases are. Ultimately, when you go out in the world and you do certain shit, you are responsible for that shit that you did, and no one else is. And I can't hold responsible family members of someone that's done, like, is Ted Bundy's family responsible for what happened to people that he fucking hurt? Is, you know, that it's a deep question, but I don't think so. I don't believe so. So I don't believe she bears any responsibility or blame. And whatever this guy wants to say to her, that's on him. That's his own fucking hang-ups that he got to get the fuck over. And she shouldn't let that fucking shit bother him. She should tell him to go fuck himself.
And,
who are those two kids?
And that you can't really see it, but that was me. Someone mentioned Barstool Sports. That was myself and El Presidente from Barstool Sports in preschool.
Okay. What's his name? He tried to buy like into like the casinos and shit and the betting.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that a little bit because we have one more big scene to talk about, and then we'll get into a little free form here before.
I think you got a raw deal on that shit.
I let Joe go. Martin says, maybe my parents raised me to use too many bombs. The husbands didn't even know who Green Ghost was. He did.
Right? I get in trouble for that shit all the time, bro. All the time.
So Mark sneaks back into his dorm room after getting lucky with Amber, only to find William waiting up for him. It was a very funny scene where he lays down and he's like, dude, you got laid, like he knows. And the two are trying to talk normal after the superhero trauma that he dealt with, and there's a knock on the door, and Seance Dog is there. It's a funny scene with William as he looks at Seance Dog, and he kind of goes, "Oh shit!" And then Seance Dog, Mark reveals, and Mark doesn't hesitate. He immediately starts beating the shit out of him. And one thing I call kind of bullshit on Joe, they're like, no one's noticing the two things.
That Conan, Dwarf Warriors, quote Conan over there. Crush your enemies, see them driven before you. Hear the lamentations of the women. Is that from Conan? What is that from?
I don't know. It does sound.
And if it is from Conan, how do I fucking?
How do you know that? And how do I get you on my trivia team, Joe?
What is that from?
We'll go with.
That's fucking awful. That's what that's from. I hope I got it wrong. I hope I just know it from somewhere, and that's not what it's from.
It's we'll see. We'll see what Dwarf Burger says.
I did just watch those 3 movies recently, but even still.
So Seance Dog is revealed to be a bug-looking alien in disguise.
It's Conan.
It is Conan. Oh shit!
And I love that my brother knows that.
He's like, Joe, sorry to tell you.
That's awesome.
Sorry to tell you, brother. It's
definitely my brother.
It's definitely Conan. Okay.
Nobody has acted shit.
So Seance Dog, my question in retrospect, Joe, is did Nolan know that Mark was so into Seance Dog that he told the alien to disguise as Seance Dog? It kind of just shows that whatever Nolan is doing is some sort of manipulation, because he knew that Mark had such a emotional sort of connection to that particular character. It would be like Goofy showing up, like someone that was trying to manipulate me, sending Goofy to be like, hey everybody, hey Phil, come with me and save the Goofy race. Like I couldn't not say no to Goofy Joe. Who would be the guy for you? The Flash? If like someone,
nope.
Who?
God no. There's too many bad Flash.
Right. It could be.
I know the Flash has unlocked the multiverse.
It could
infinite
be
timeline,
reverse Flash.
Yeah. No. I ain't trusting the Flash. No.
And
But who would it be for me?
yeah, what fictional character could show up that would emotionally grab you to the point where you would have trouble saying no to them?
Ooh.
For me, it would.
Martin should answer that question. For me.
For you,
Yeah.
for me, realistically speaking, it would probably be. I don't know.
Oh no, for you, I'm gonna answer that question.
Yeah,
Give
you
me a
answer.
minute to think about that. For you, any one of the 4 Ninja Turtles.
Oh
Probably
yeah,
Leonardo.
if Michelangelo,
there you go. Yeah.
yeah, if Michelangelo showed up, me and him are having pizza parties.
You're gone. You're gone. You're like,
I'm
going.
I'm going with Michelangelo.
Yep.
Yeah. John Haymaker says Ellie from Last of Us for Joe.
If Link showed up, you're on board.
Oh,
you're jumping on his
if I'm
back
here,
and go for a ride.
Is John Haymaker right? Is it Ellie from Last of Us for you, Joe?
Ooh.
Person.
Oh damn.
He sent someone.
I love that's maybe she would get me to go. You know what? Joel or Ellie. I'm down. I'm fucking following Joel into the pits of hell.
Oh, Kyle has a good one. I am Lilu Dadas Multipass. Lilu Dadas Multipass. Multipass.
That's a good one too. Yes, obviously.
Yeah, you're gonna trust a doctor.
Which Doctor Who? See, for
Joe, I have a better question before we get into this final scene, and then we're gonna get into this final scene and then open this up to this kind of discussion.
I would say the one with from my brother would be the Doctor Who with the blonde Doctor Who, the early blonde Doctor Who.
Joe, would you believe, like, if I came to you and I was like, I'm quantum leaping, like, in your body, would you be able to tell if someone quantum leaped into my body?
I would actually absolutely be able to tell if anybody quantum leaped into probably anybody's body that I knew, because everybody that I know has certain tics, certain expressions, has certain mannerisms.
But would you think about it in the moment? Would you think about it in the moment? If I start going after everything I said or something weird.
No. Here's the thing, Phil.
If I started eating steak.
Listen, I'm a tough one to ask. I've been working in a field where,
Are you talking about poker?
No, I'm not talking about poker, but
I
the
know.
field I work in
I'm kidding.
helps for that.
I'm kidding.
But I don't know, I would be very fucking concerned if anyone was quantum leaped into that I knew, because I know them well enough to know that those aren't their expressions. Those aren't their mannerisms. This isn't the way they act. This isn't even their fucking speech pattern. They've never used those words, that particular vocabulary. Are you fucking kidding me? No, absolutely not. I would think you were either having a psychotic break, Phil, or I would immediately know you'd been quantum leaped into. And I wouldn't think quantum leap. I would think, psychosis, schizophrenic break, fucking manic depressive.
One of my personalities.
Manic psychosis.
Yeah,
so many different things that I would think way before someone got quantum leaped into. Trauma, like massive drug use, dude, Phil took fucking a fistful of acid or some shit. But no, I know my friends, I know the people I know my coworkers, that I would very easily be able to tell when someone's mental status has changed. These are the things I've been trained for 25 years to be picked up upon.
Right, you'd be
surprised, when I do sit at a poker table, how fucking, when you read these books about poker and they talk about the different personalities and the different personality types, the different mannerisms and the body mechanics and the facial expressions and all of these things, you would be surprised how fucking point on that shit is.
Joe, Kyle says in the live chat, now I'm imagining Joe holding down Phil screaming, "Damn you, Scott Bakula!" We got a voicemail from Jay. Let's listen to this.
I don't think the guy that said I would help Lulu Dallas really thought that through. In the movie, Bruce Willis was able to help her because he was like a special forces agent that was trained in every single weaponry there, like every single gun known to man or whatever, and was like a trained badass or whatever. So unless you happen to be that, helping her would be kind of hard. I think I'd help Spider-Man or Batman. they probably already have like some sort of plan or some sort of reason why they're coming to me for help.
You also probably couldn't say no to Batman. But let's finish this episode and then we're gonna Joe.
My brother put in his answer. It was for Joe ? And as soon as I say this, he's gonna be like, "Of course, that's what it is. It's a fucking unicorn."
Oh, that's true. I would agree with that as well. If you
saw a unicorn fucking shows up and is like, "Joseph, we need to go save the world, dude."
Some My Little Pony unicorn,
die in that not My Little Pony unicorn, but a fucking unicorn legend, fucking like,
yeah, Dwarf Burger. I agree with that.
Some fucking unicorn shows up, dude. I'm like, oh, I knew it. I knew it was fucking true.
Joe,
are you kidding me, man? Absolutely.
Do you know who if this person
Dickon.
That's for me. If Dickon showed up, anyways, okay. So let's finish this episode off, and we're not finishing, but let's finish this episode off. Mark sneaks back into his dorm room. The Sans dog shows up. It's a bug alien. The bug alien says, "Listen, you gotta come and stop these stop these comets or something." We're gonna get back into the chat in a second, but and Mark ends up kind of buying all of this shit that this bug alien kind of spews. The bug alien is also another voice from BoJack, but that's beside the point. So we get a moment where Mark is talking to Cecil. Cecil's only moment in the episode, and he's like, "You're going away with some random alien? Are you stupid?" And it sets up more of a barrier between the two of them. We haven't talked too much about episode 2, but in episode 2, we see Cecil making notes about the Sonic situation. I don't know if Cecil is eventually going to go against Mark because he thinks he's going to be another Omni-Man. I don't trust Cecil as far as I could throw him, but Walter Goggins does an incredible job with that voice. And even in a small little part, Cecil had a very memorable moment in this episode telling Mark not to go and trying to use his father. Like, you're like your father against him. And he wore that out. He's used that for about 6 months or so where it's worked and it finally stopped working. And that's again, this show's very good at sort of representing real life kind of situations where certain guilt trips work for a while and then they run out after a while. And that ran out on Mark. He's like, "I'm not my fucking father. Shut the fuck up. I'm not going to listen to that shit." And he ditches it. He goes with this alien dude to his world, 6 days to get there. He passes out in the ship. He gets there. And Joe,
but see, this goes against everything that you've built up in the first 2 episodes of the season.
But let's get into
this. And that was kind of fucked up for me. Like,
what, him going against Cecil?
Episode 1, I need to come back. I'll do whatever you say. I'll follow.
But I think that shows
episode 2 kind of is like what.
But I think that shows the individuality of Mark. But let's get to this end here. Did you have any inkling watching it that Omni-Man was about to show up? Was it a surprise for you?
Yeah, I thought he was going to go see. I thought they were taking him to,
Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime, yeah. So I kind of spoiled myself for this ahead of time. So I sort of knew what was coming. Once I heard the name of the planet, it was somewhere in my mind that was the planet that Omni-Man created a new life. I also know a few other spoilers I'm not going to mention right now that we're probably going to find out in the next episode. This next episode is going to be huge. So Omni-Man shows up at the end of the episode, says, "Mark, it's been a while. Good to see you," whatever. Really huge, surprising thing for people that don't know the comics at all. I'm sure, as Joe just said, I'm sure this was a huge freaking surprise. I don't want to talk too much about episode 4, but episode 4 is going to disclose a lot of fucking shit. It's going to be a probably Omni-Man centric episode. We're going to see everything he's been up to, I assume. But this was just a great episode of Invincible. Joe and I aren't finishing up. We're going to take the live chat and have a little bit of an Ask Me Anything section here for 15-20 minutes before we call this a stream. But this is maybe my favorite episode of Invincible, Joe.
Like I said earlier, top 3.
Yeah.
Episode 1, episode S1, episode 1, S1, episode final. And
what do you
said it was final episode. I can't recall, but I believe you. So final episode, and then this one.
But
one of those three is the top three. I'm not sure which one. I'd have to say the first episode probably can't be because I fell asleep the first time I started watching it.
Right. It
But
wasn't until
it
the end.
ended strong.
It ended really strong. It ended really strong. So going, we can't not talk about this though. I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream, Joe, and you got to talk about it now. I don't like that they're splitting an 8-episode season in half.
What do you mean they're splitting it in half?
So we're getting 4 episodes now, and then sometimes in quote unquote early 2024, we're getting 4 more episodes.
Yes, no, okay, I understand that because this is what they think. This is their thinking.
Make me feel better about this, Joe.
All of this television history behind us says you don't air an episode of anything new on Thanksgiving week
or Christmas or something like that,
or Christmas week or New Year's week, right? And then a new season starts sometime in late winter,
February,
early spring. February, right, is the new season, right? So, and that's when they do like most of the primaries, premieres and pilot episodes of shows on networks, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, for the most part.
And so
September and February-ish.
Yep. So what they're doing is they're trying to follow this regular network thing. But if they only have 8 episodes, you can't come back for a week or two and then take another week or two off and then come back for a week or two.
Now, Joe, and
that's very weak if they did it that way. I'd rather them do the 4-drop and then a 4-drop.
I'd rather
them just go straight through.
I'd rather them have 10 episodes.
Thanksgiving be damned.
I'd rather them
have this 10 episode season shit has been bullshit since that original Writers Guild strike.
Right. And
like,
Joe,
what are we going to get now out of this one?
I know
what is the deal they made now. Like we get a
I know we're supposedly
at
at this like higher end television and yada yada yada.
We're not. That's over. That's
but
gone.
I miss
pedestrian TV.
I'm rewatching some old series and stuff, and I miss television seasons when they had like 20 some odd episodes.
I do too. You had
Deep Space Nine, Star Trek Next Generation.
Phil,
I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
I just did a Babylon 5 rewatch over the last 3 weeks. I'm at the midway through season 5, and then I've got some post movies to watch again, and then I have a couple of the post movies, and then I think there's one spin-off that I need to watch again. And here's the thing, 22 episode seasons. Now, this is something that allowed a show like Babylon 5, Deep Space Nine to really explore not just their macro stories that they were trying to tell, but explore a lot of the nuances, but for the characters, for each of your, supporting cast members. You had episodes that just focused on not just Jakar, but maybe even the Narn homeworld and Narnian, history, or Centauri homeworld and history, and not just like that character. Just like in Deep Space Nine,
I could not agree with you more, Joe.
Fully on all of that. Now, with that,
it gave you so much more time to explore character stuff. Even like show like 24 or Lost, those shows just gave you so many episodes to really explore stuff. 8 to 10 episodes aren't always enough.
They're not. So I talking about this also in my rewatch, talking with my brother-in-law and talking with Katie and stuff. I was thinking this whole time, like, dude, it is for me. It's my favorite, Martin. It really is. Like, it's my favorite sci-fi series of all time. Until season 5, I really hate fucking Byron. I like beyond. It hurts my brain. And also, Martin, what the fuck is going on? This is a direct question and the more I see it, but the direct question from Katie is, what the fuck is going on with Delen's hair? It like goes under the bone. It's really
and
weird.
I'm with Devin. If we're gonna get only 8 episodes, I want to see 8 episodes all the way through.
Yep. Oh, there it is.
Holy shit,
Katie.
And Kelly Johnson is dropping the super chats, and he also oh wow, he's given us 3 super chats, bang bang bang, because he gave us a couple of PayPal stuff as well. Thank you so much, Kelly Johnson. Phil, are you looking forward to the issues of the arrival of the Conquest are going to cause? Joe, are you looking forward to more Game of Thrones series? Are you familiar with Dunk and Egg and that kind of stuff?
I want to finish my thought about the 26 episode season first before I answer that question.
Please.
Because I really want to answer that question too. The 24 episode season is so 22 episodes, 26, whatever it is.
Thank you, Kelly.
Yep, I'm about to cheers, Kelly.
And I'm about to spin the wheel, Kelly, for you.
One of those things, even though you get all of that, one of the things I was talking about redoing the series is you would miss out on that, because nowadays you only get 10 episodes, 8 to 10 episodes, right? If you're lucky, you get 12 episodes a season, and you would miss out on all of that world build, all of that character development, all of the stuff that these characters go through to really show how this 5 years played out on like a Babylon 5, right? So without that 26 episodes, you can't explore all that. You'd have to condense to the macro season. You would miss out on so much. However, with those 22 episode seasons, if you miss an episode or two, you missed major moments and major plot points to the macro story or to a character's development that you might question in the next episode that you do pick up on, like, what the fuck? Like, that there really needs to be a happy medium between this 10 or 8 to 10 and 22 to 26.
Joe, I think there was with those early HBO series that had like 12, 13, 14 episodes. Anyways, the super chat wheel landed on Drum Solo Tuso. Kelly, this is for you.
You are so wrong, Warburger. And no, Stargate is not better than DS. No, I'm sorry.
I can't play too loud because it's late.
Okay, so here's the thing. Bab 5, so much better than DS9. Stargate is not as good as either one of those, but Stargate is fantastic. The movie, the series is great, and Stargate Universe is my favorite of the Stargate. Better than Atlantis, better than SG-1, better than the movie, but it only got one, maybe, I think 2, but definitely one season, or that was it, which is unfortunate. But Stargate was really good. Babylon 5 is better than all of them. I really wish they could redo it. Big thing about Babylon 5 is almost all of them are fucking dead.
Joe, we got to answer a couple of super chat questions. Kelly Johnson says, Phil, do you think this animation style is on the level of Batman the Animated Series?
No.
What do you... No, Joe. It's straight up no?
It's...
What do you think of the animation style in general?
It's the same as it's the same as that. It's the same as any kind of like. It's the same as Young Justice to me. It's the same as even like Transformers and G.I. Joe from back then, or Robotech.
Stuff.
It's not that much different than any of that. A lot. It's definitely not. I don't know. I just don't see that much of a difference. It's yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's a cartoon. It looks like a cartoon. It feels like a cartoon, which makes it even more feel like a comic book. It's comic book drawn to motion.
And it's exceptional drama within that. And I misunderstood your second question, Kelly. I thought you were talking about A Song of Ice and Fire stuff. But I don't want to spoil too much here. But Phil, are you looking forward to the issues of the arrival of Conquest are going to cause? Yes. I won't talk.
Yes, Dunk and Egg, is that what you were talking about?
No, we'll get to that in a second, Joe, but this is about Invincible still. Okay. I wonder when that is going to happen. I don't know if that's going to be second half of the season stuff, but I am excited for that particular character to show up. 100%, Kelly. That's going to be a lot of fun. Kelly, thank you so much for the super chats. Cannot thank you enough. Kyle says Babylon 5 was still great in my opinion. Dwarfburger says Stargate was okay, but the character switch from the movie that turned me off. There's something about the characters on Deep Space Nine, Joe, that make it better for me. And this isn't about copying or whatever, get into it, both series or whatever.
No, which
but
characters?
Garrick, Quark, Cisco, Bashir, Kira, all of them. All of them.
Here's the thing.
All of them. They're my favorite set of full cast of characters next to the original cast. To me, there's the Kirk and the Spock stuff, the Leonard McCoy, whatever, the original cast, and the Deep Space Nine cast. I think they have the best chemistry, those two casts.
Okay, and let me ask you a question, Phil.
Mm-hmm. I might give an answer. I might give an answer.
Answer honestly.
I am. This is the after show. Anything, ask us anything. We're in the after show.
And with all honesty, did you ever sit down and start watching from the beginning? This is a couple-part question. You can answer them all at once. Babylon 5.
Yes.
2, how many episodes have you fully watched?
4.
And 3, were they all in a row or were they random?
They were in a row. They were the first 4 episodes. I did enjoy it, and for some reason I didn't complete it, but I thought it was good. I thought what had me a little hard to grasp was it was scattered and jumped around a bit too much, and I had trouble connecting with individualistic characters because it was always bouncing around. That was my problem with it getting into it initially, but I have watched episodes individually with you here and there. I accept that Babylon 5 is top tier sci-fi, but for whatever it's worth, I think it focused so much, and this is just whatever your interest is in, it focuses so much on the science, on the ship, on the whole thing as a whole, that for me, I'm so character driven as a person that the characters are almost secondary to the overall story on Babylon 5. At least that was what I take out of it.
So, okay. I mean, okay.
But am I incorrect in my assessment of the series? Like, I think it's
to me, it's Game of Thrones. It's Game of Thrones before Game of Thrones.
It's Game of Thrones or The Wire.
It's Game of Thrones. It's when I watched this rewatch so I haven't done a rewatch of Bab 5, I think, since before Game of Thrones. Katie can it's been a while. And this is at least my 4th fucking rewatch. And and I'm talking the entire fucking thing. The entire fucking thing.
The movies.
Oh my
goodness.
Including the movies. So, and I completely blame my brother for this. Like, I kind of got into it. I knew he liked it, and I knew he watched it, and he had talked it up a bit, and I started watching it, and I was like, and he told me about the whole controversy, Phil. Like,
welcome, Vol. Welcome, Vol.
But like, honestly,
oh no, the controversy is
really
real. It's Paramount or Star Trek straight up stole it. That's a fact. That's a fact. I accept that.
So I've watched it, and this time on my way through watching it, I was thinking the comparison. It dawned on me about halfway through season 3, like, holy shit! If the way they did this isn't fucking Game of Thrones, like, you have all these houses, and even right to the point. Be honest with you, after that episode.
Sorry.
Even to the point where they were like, it's the Centauri called the House Malari and House this, and I know that's a common thing and whatever for a lot of things, and like even there's a show right now, the House of Usher and stuff, but like with that and the way that society is set up, very much.
No, I mean, Joe, that
Imperial, but like
it's also one of your comfort shows. Like, I rewatch Mad Men or The Sopranos on repeat constantly. I'm always watching it to a certain extent. Garrick, yeah, I'm with you, Dwarfburger. I feel like they are some of the best television. I feel like that's what Deep Space Nine does exceptionally well, in the sense of the multiple episodes that they have and the way that they explore certain character dynamics and they break apart certain conventions. I feel like it's the best of all of the Star Trek series. I know not everyone's going to feel that way, and it's my favorite science fiction series. I'm biased towards it, and I'll make an argument for it, but I don't... Everything you're saying about Babylon 5 is how I feel about Deep Space Nine.
Okay, there's a little discussion going on right now that goes to all this too.
I'm gonna refill my drink. Keep going. I can hear you.
This discussion is going on. And so this discussion is going on in the chat right now. Martin says, here, season 1 of most sci-fi series need help. Bab 5 not excluded, and I will tell you that's true. There's a lot of things that change from the pilot episode. Is the Delenn has a certain look, the aliens have a certain look, and they did a certain thing with the way the camera and the shoots are. And when you get into the second episode, there's a lot that's changed. Delenn has changed. The phasers have changed from like a weird Star Trek looking thing or whatever to a actual like old school gun pistol. Jakar looks a little different. Everybody, there's a lot that changes over that first season,
Joe,
and then it settles into itself.
I have a off-topic but question to just add to this. Do you consider the X-Files sci-fi?
Yes.
So do you consider that one? Could that be an answer for people's favorite sci-fi series of all time?
It can be an answer for it, yes, and it's not a bad show, but it's absolutely.
I never really got into it, but
afterlife. They deal with all sorts of different science fiction topics and metaphysical topics and just different things. It's absolutely a sci-fi show, down to the black box.
I want to jump in.
It,
the Orville is not as funny, but it's a great sci-fi show. Jackie C says, I mostly just met better looking story. Great to see Jackie C in the live chat. Thank you so much. What show is Joe talking about? I lost track. We're talking mainly about Babylon 5 at the moment.
And then Kyle jumps into that conversation where he says, Martin's so true. It's a battle of trying to keep the exposition to a minimum, is not to keep the overload the viewer and still keep it interesting and new. That's a very good point, and it's very true to almost all science fiction shows. Season ones have a tough time finding their moment. It happened with even one of your favorites, Phil, Quantum Leap.
Yep.
Season 1 is
1 second, Jay.
Is very it's slow to grab you. Star Trek Next Generation, slow to grab a lot of people.
No, I mean, especially that first. Joe, we have our buddy Jay on the phone. Jay, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, what's up, man? I was just going to say, I never really watched the show, but Serenity was an awesome sci-fi movie that came from a show.
Yeah, Serenity was good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just called in to say that.
No, great stuff as always, my friend. Orville couldn't decide if it was a spoof or a serious show. Okay, thanks.
It's both, and that's one of the brilliant things about the Orville. It's both a spoof of Next Generation and it's a serious show dealing with all of these kind of serious topics that Next Generation kind of dealt with.
Yeah,
and that's what makes it such a great spoof.
No, and that's what's amazing about it.
That's the brilliance behind it. That
Joe,
really
I want to get to a question.
John Haymaker, you hit the nail on the head with what makes that show such a great show. It's one of that man,
Seth MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane's greatest pieces of work is he really nails the head. It's what makes Galaxy Quest so good because it's kind of a serious movie. Like there's a bunch of shit going.
Yeah,
on,
it takes itself actually serious. To me, I agree with you. I think Orville is the best thing Seth has ever done. I want to get to Vol's question before it goes past. Speaking of sci-fi, because I know you have an opinion on this. I personally don't because I haven't watched it yet. Speaking of sci-fi shows, do you guys like The Expanse? I think it was awesome. I would dig you guys recapping on it. Joe, I know you fully watched this series from beginning to end. How does The Expanse fit into all of this? Because I know it's some people's favorite of all time. I don't know if I lost Joe. Did I lose Joe? Joe walked away for a second, but we'll get Joe's opinion on The Expanse in a second because I know he actually does have an opinion on that. But yeah, they should have picked a lane. I wonder if we're going to get more Orville ever again. I hope we do, but we'll have to see. Let's go in the live chat. The Orville couldn't decide. Speaking of sci-fi shows, Sliders is another good one. Mr. What was the one with Christian Slater and Freddie Mercury there? Let's continue on here. Farscape, Mr. Robot. That was a very good show. I can't wait for Joe's opinion. Me too. I know he watched that series from beginning to end. I watched Deep Space Nine and Babylon 5 both multiple times. The characterization, the writing, the model, the digital effects are all better. I think one of those things that gets underrated about Deep Space Nine is the way those battles looked, and they were using practical effects, and I think both those shows pushed the limit on that particular one. Joe,
they weren't using practical effects on Bab 5. They were using practical effects on Deep Space Nine as opposed to Bab 5, which is almost all CGI.
They used
a model that was a lot more physics-based and space-based models than Star Trek has ever fucking done. Down to the weapons, down to the way the spacecrafts move, down to the way they fly. All of this shit is done so much better. The actual science that was put into Babylon 5 as opposed to Star Trek is that much better. As opposed to the Orville, I really, 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 really cannot wait for there to be more of
Orville
of that. And I doubt there's going to.
We lost Joe. Joe has been disconnected. Joe disconnected himself. Hopefully he'll be back in a moment here and pop back in. I am with you, Dwarf Burger. I think it's so much better. Mr. Robot. There we go. We got Joe back.
Really, 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 really there's going to be more Orville. I doubt there's going to be, but we've heard and read and seen all sorts of things that there will be. It is a great show. And The Expanse, I think.
Oh, yeah, The Expanse. Give us your opinions on The Expanse.
Jane does a great job in that. I think The Expanse was well done. That's a great example of them being able to build a world inside and a macro story and explore some character depth really well in a sci-fi show and still hit the mark. It builds a world with different. I think The Expanse was really, really well done.
I've heard it.
Farscape.
I've heard it before you go to Farscape.
Early season's great.
Before you go to Farscape, I've heard, and I haven't watched either show in its entirety, so I can't speak to it. I've heard The Expanse compared to Babylon 5 at times. Do you see that comparison?
I can absolutely see a little bit of a comparison there, where the politics that go into the world build in The Expanse is a lot. There's a lot of that mirrored from Babylon 5. What The Expanse kind of lacks is I don't want to say the alien race, but like alien races that are also involved in that politics and world build. It focuses. It would be basically, to me, The Expanse is kind of like you could even say like the view of like from Earth, President Clark, and that instead of the view from Babylon 5 in a lot of ways, kind of. Not really, but like honestly, like what's going on in The Expanse can be very easily looked at like, oh, if you just kind of alter a few things here and there, The Expanse is basically, Earth and Mars rather than Earth and the asteroid belt and the political civil war shit that's kind of going on. I don't know if I'm remembering it right. Maybe I like it. I like that. That's a good mesh up there for me in my brain. It works from what I remember. Rick and Morty's fucking awesome. Especially the first 3 seasons.
Are you're enjoying the most recent seasons as well?
I'm not enjoying it, but the first 3 seasons are gold. They're fucking almost perfect.
Would you put that at your table for best sci-fi series? Because I know it definitely explores sci-fi in an interesting way.
Yeah, the first 3 seasons especially, and I'm still holding out hope that it gets back to as great. Sorry, it's still good. But I hope it gets back to how great it really fucking was, because it is absolutely almost perfect television. Those first 3 seasons, as crass as it is, like, I know that's going to turn a lot of people off. That has turned and will always turn a lot of people off. But if you go past that, which is what it dares you to do in and of itself, and get into what it is, like, there's so many subtleties. There's so many just obvious moments. Like one of the little things that I know, I've read a lot about it, and other people have talked about this shit, but like the box of time travel stuff that is literally on the shelf. We shelved it because we're never going to fucking deal with it. We don't have to really deal with it. And the times we haven't really. It's multi-universe. That's what we're dealing with.
Now, Martin mentioned in the live chat, and Kyle's talking about too, Dark Angel. I believe, was that Jessica Alba? I think the main thing I remember about Dark Angel, I never really watched it. I know it's the Josh Wheaton show. Our good friend Joe Glow used to watch that show a lot, and I
loved Angel. I didn't love
not Angel and Buffy. We'll talk about them in a second. Dark. It's a different.
Dark Angel. Oh no, I didn't watch that shit.
But no, Angel and Buffy were great. But that's that's not sci-fi though. That's more.
The movie was awesome, but it's odd how like awful that movie is, and I hated it. But like, I have a soft spot for it, and I'll always love it.
Oh, what, the Buffy movie?
Yeah,
but you
Dark Angel. We ain't talking about.
But no, we'll talk about Buffy instead. But you legitimately like Buffy, especially Angel. You're more of an Angel fan than Buffy.
No, I never got into Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
But you watched Angel though, right?
I watched Angel, and I watched a chunk of Buffy stuff, and for what it is,
your ex-girlfriend was.
You know what I am?
Your ex-girlfriend was Buffy
fuck
obsessed.
Angel and fuck Buffy, Charmed, bitches.
Oh, you're
What's up now?
You're the three charmed ones.
Dude,
who's your favorite?
I'll even take
with Shannon Doherty or with Rose McGowan.
Of course. I don't. Nobody wants.
No one wants Rose.
Back,
no one
right?
wants Rose.
Like, nobody wanted Rose. Shannon should have stayed. But that bitch, man. I'm sorry. I'm speaking horribly of people right now. That woman is not fit for television because she can't hold down a fucking job. There's something going on.
Are you talking about Shannon?
I'm really drunk, and I'm not going to be speaking nicely about people right now.
It's okay.
So why don't we move on? Charmed was fucking awesome, start to finish. I don't care about Shannon. I don't care about Paige.
Kyle says Joe watches Lifetime movies. Joe watches Lifetime movies. I'm watching. Thank you for.
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I do watch.
Oh my
movies.
God!
I love a rom-com. You can't get me away from rom-coms. My mom has instilled in me a fucking value for rom-coms that you wouldn't believe. I watched every single Fred and Ginger fucking movie that ever fucking existed. I watched Fred Astaire rom-coms well past Fred and Ginger. You're talking about the 40s, the 50s rom-coms, the 60s rom-coms, you name it. The 70s, the 80s, I've seen almost all of them.
Me too,
I'm a
Joe.
Rom-com fanatic. They're funny. They make you cry. They got hot fucking women. Like, are you kidding me?
Now,
Rom-coms are awesome.
Dwarf Burger says Dark Beaver, which I remember we used to call Dark Angel, Dark Beaver.
Is the Princess Bride a rom-com? Fuck yes, it is.
It's a fantasy.
It's a fantasy rom-com comedy, fucking action adventure, fucking. It hits the whole fucking head, nail, hammer, all of it. It's beautiful. Rom-com.
Let's get in the chat. Kyle says Joe watches Lifetime movies. Dark Beaver as Dead Zone. Was Dead Zone the show with no? What am I thinking?
Dead Zone was with Anthony
Michael Hall, where he touches
Steven
things.
Spielberg fucking spinoff. It was really Katie really liked that show.
I like Anthony Michael Hall.
Liked it. I love fucking Anthony Michael Hall. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Michael Anthony?
No, Anthony Michael Hall. Like
yeah. Fucking, Johnny Be Good.
Yeah, Johnny Be Good. I'm so glad you said Johnny Be Good. Johnny Be Good. You like Robert Downey Jr., Johnny Be Good. He's amazing in Johnny Be Good.
Dude, that's fucking Weird Science.
Yep.
Are you kidding me?
They're both in Weird Science too. But Anthony Michael Hall, he's most funny in Johnny Be Good because that's when he was trying to be like all studly and shit.
Right? And he put on all this awkward fucking
muscle and shit. Yeah, he looks stupid. And Robert Downey Jr. is hilarious. He broke my dick, coach. Broke my dick, coach.
Oh, Something About Mary was great.
It's a great movie.
Something About Mary was really good, dude.
Top 5 favorite rom-coms, Joe.
Oh, dude, I got my list right here from before. Remember we made that list?
Yeah, I don't think we've done a video, but this is this.
Let's see, we got rom-com right here, Mannequin. There it is.
Oh yeah, we did do that before.
Don't have to think. Mannequin, that was on there.
Mannequins on the top of your list. No, that's
my brother's in the chat. He can.
I love Hollywood
now,
too.
How many times
I love Hollywood too, and some Kim Cattrall, Joe. But I don't know if it's best rom-com. I don't know if anything with whatever that dude's name is, Anthony. What is the fuck?
It doesn't matter. Andrew McCarthy.
Andrew McCarthy, thank you. Andrew McCarthy's not winning any best of awards, Joe. But
dude, Mannequin. Yes, Mannequin. Really.
Jackie C. I'm with Jackie C. Really, Joe? We're talking When Harry Met Sally. We're talking Knocked Up. Mork and Mindy is more.
Knocked Up was good.
Mork and
Mindy's a rom-com
series.
It
is. It is a rom-com series. And it's one of those things. I feel like two shows.
Dude, all that she said, Knocked Up, gross. All that shit with the Beardy and the bet. That's fucking hilarious.
Joe, when I go back and watch Mork and Mindy and Taxi, both those shows, I feel like
Taxi. What's his name is on from Greece. Is on Bab.
Oh yeah, Bobby Wheeler. But what I'm talking about is Robin Williams and Danny DeVito. When you watch those two shows, it's almost like you feel like you're getting something extra special by getting these movie stars in these television roles. So like
Danny DeVito
is one of the funniest guys ever to walk the planet.
Ever to walk the face of the planet. This man, he not only knows himself, but he knows everybody the fuck else.
And if you ever wondered if you could keep up, if you haven't watched Always Sunny yet, watch Always Sunny.
He's in his 70s.
And he's as funny as ever. Like everything he does is the funniest stuff. Danny DeVito is one of those, as rated as he is, he's still underrated how funny he is. Because he's not a stand-up comic. But there's just something about
he's not just funny, dude. Do you remember fucking Hoffa?
Oh yeah, no, he's a great actor. But I'm saying, like, if we just go by being funny, I think he's just one of the funniest human beings that's ever existed.
He's one of the most talented actors that have ever walked the face of the earth, and he will never get that kind of credit. When you watch him on Taxi, when you watch him in the countless fucking movies he's been in, dramatic or comedy, when you watch him on Always Sunny and his willingness to just be like, what the fuck ever, I'm only a fucking actor, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, it's in front of a fucking camera. He doesn't take himself too seriously, he doesn't take himself to be an asshole. He is fucking awesome. He is one of the best people to ever stand in front of that
now
camera.
Joe, I'm gonna get in the live chat a little bit. Jackie C says When Harry Met Sally. I'm with you, Jackie C. That might be my favorite rom-com. Dwarfburger says Charmed with Shannon was peak TV. I'll have what
really from Dwarfburger.
Yep. Martin.
And then in the very next sentence he types in Princess Bride is go fuck yourself.
No, we'll get to that in a second, Joe. Martin says Joe.
He's only saying that to elicit some sort of response.
No, maybe he
or me.
Maybe he believes it. Maybe Devin actually believes.
I've never heard that out of his mouth.
Maybe Devin actually believes something.
No. He has never, ever said that to me in my presence or you in your presence.
He's afraid.
We've talked about this movie a million times, Phil. Have we not?
Now let's get to some more comments.
Have we not?
We have. We'll get to Devin's comment.
Have we not talked about it a million times in his presence?
Joe.
Have we not?
We have, and I haven't heard this.
Has he ever said anything quite like this before?
I have not heard this take before.
Thank you. Full of shit, Burger.
So the Dwarf Burger's full of shit on that one. So just to continue here, Martin says, Joe watched Mannequin 100 times over 2 years. Sonic, your boy, says something about Mary, me, myself, and Irene, Joe versus Volcano,
See, I told you.
Princess
told you.
Bride, my favorite ones. His copy is probably sticky or something.
It is. Dude, it's gunked out. It don't work anymore. The VCR and the copy got thrown out. And then the DVD player and the DVD player and the DVD got thrown out because you could. No.
Because you scratch that shit up.
Gone.
Jay says
And don't forget Porky's.
Jay says
She was in that.
Jay says
I wrote her a letter.
No,
Mailed
Joe.
it too.
So it's not about rom-com. It's about Kim Cattrall. Okay.
No.
Check.
That's my favorite movie. I loved that movie.
I know. I'm kidding. Jay says my favorite rom-com is the Lego Movie.
One of my favorite movies. It's a great rom-com.
Jackie C adds 10 Things I Hate About You. John Haymaker says 40.
Also good. Great Heath Ledger movie / what's her name?
And Julia Stiles.
Yes, thank you.
John Haymaker says 40-Year-Old Virgin. Sonic Your Boy.
Another Rogan.
Sonic Your Boy says John Cusack. Pick any of them, basically. Yeah, you could pick any.
Oh, no.
You could pick any 80s John Cusack movie.
I am so sick of Say Anything. Hold the fucking boombox over my head. This is some fucking Judd Apatow. Is that Judd Apatow? Some fucking
No, it's John Hughes.
John Hughes movie moment that's going to transcend fucking time. It was stupid. I hate no.
I
Not
don't.
every John Cusack movie, but John Cusack is awesome. Gross Point Blank being his
Shut the fuck up, Joe.
What? Gross Point Blank is not his best work.
Gross
ever?
Point Blank, and
Him and Dan Aykroyd at the end.
what was the name of the High Fidelity? High Fidelity is his best. High Fidelity is my favorite. High Fidelity is my favorite. Shut up. High Fidelity is my favorite John Cusack movie, dick. John Cusack has Princess Bride is overrated, says Dwarfburger.
That's what I'm talking about. No, you've never heard him say that.
Sonic, your boy, says inconceivable. Martin wants his $2. Donate. Give Martin $2. Donate him. I will always love the weird milk guy and Always Sunny. Always Sunny is maybe the best sitcom ever.
Dude, there's a reason why it's the longest. I think it has reached the longest running ever.
If you don't count The Simpsons, it is, I think.
Yes, because that's an animated series.
Mm-hmm.
Can't count that.
It's
you can
different.
do that from fucking home. You can't do this.
It's
from home.
But Always Sunny is unbelievably great. It's just in its quality. Its quality has stuck through every goddamn season.
And again, if you don't like Crass, you will not like it. But if you get past that layer,
but it's even if you
don't realize that layer is necessary.
It's so
for how
good, dude.
Brilliant it ends up being. Like, here's the thing: I'm guaranteeing you, people that don't like that show see themselves.
Who doesn't like Always Sunny though?
People that see themselves in those characters.
I mean,
they're like, no, this shit's bad because they're looking at it going like, I'm just like Charlie, I'm just like Dee. There's no difference between me and fucking Danny DeVito.
I'm Charlie. So. Kyle says, Dwarfburger, you take that back. It's fighting, it's romance, it's poison, it's betrayal, it's monsters,
I'm
it's
probably Mac too, right?
Yeah, no, that's pretty fucking accurate. Kyle's attacking Devin on this one. He says, you take that Princess Bride hate back. It's got fighting, it's got romance, it's got poison, it's got betrayal, it's got monsters, it's got giants. It's a perfect goddamn movie, Dwarfburger. What the fuck?
Right?
Okay. Jay asks, Pretty Woman isn't really a comedy. No, it's a tragedy. No, I'm kidding.
And it's not a comedy. There's a couple of funny moments, but I don't think that's a rom-com.
Now, Jay asks,
it probably falls under rom-com.
Joe, we're going all over the place tonight, but it's okay. We did our Invincible view.
Is Pretty Woman a rom-com?
Yes. Yes, it totally is. What are you kidding?
Okay.
100%.
Outdated and doesn't hold up. The crow has flown.
The crow has spoken. We got the crow drop in tonight. So, Joe, Jay has an interesting question for us tonight. He says Friends is the best sitcom ever. What's your best top 5 sitcoms of all time? Or a few. You don't have to put them in order, but give us a handful of some of your favorite sitcoms. You're muted. Or you're purposely not talking.
Right now, my absolute favorite.
Always Sunny?
No. The best of all time sitcom, MASH. I'm sorry. It is fucking dark. It is fucking hilarious. There is something about that show that I can, like, I hate. When I was a kid, I didn't fucking understand it. My dad would watch
I haven't rewatched it since I was a
times.
kid because my grandmother
It
used to make
holds
me
up
watch it,
because
and I couldn't watch it.
It's the best maybe television show of all time, in my opinion.
Whoa, that's a hot take. MASH.
It is a hot take. It is a hot take, and it's definitely not maybe. It's that I just said the maybe, but it's definitely
maybe
best
maybe
sitcom of all time.
Okay.
But it's
You say it's better than
best
it's better than
television show of
Friends.
all
It's
time.
better than Seinfeld. It's better than
better
Cheers.
Than all of them. It's better than all of them. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you
For
why
me,
right
it's
now.
Seinfeld.
Fucking
Probably.
Henry Blake dies. Fucking they send away Radar. Are you kidding me? Like, there's so much that they fucking do in this show. They send away fuckhead and they bring in Charles. Like, there's so much that they do in this show.
Happy Days, All in the Family,
Through it.
all of these
Those
shows.
are great shows. Those are great shows. Happy Days, All in the Family. Fucking
Sanford and
wonderful
Son,
shows.
The Jeffersons, all shows.
Great. Jefferson's amazing. They break ground.
Mork and Mindy,
But
Laverne and Shirley, all those shows.
Sci-fi break ground in that genre as far as a sitcom goes. Mork and Mindy. Those are great
You say
shows that
MASH
are not
rule.
bad shows.
MASH rules them all.
MASH is the one.
MASH is
TV
the one
show
ring.
that will rule them the fuck off.
I don't know if
It
I
is
agree
dark,
with you,
it is
but
depressing. It is fucking hilarious. It tells a whole story. It from start to fucking finish. It has 1 star. Alan Alda from start to fucking finish, even with all the other stars that are in it. Everything they do, that show is brilliant from start to fucking
Joe,
finish.
I haven't
It makes
seen you this
cry.
passionate
It
about
makes you
something in a
laugh.
while.
There are characters that come through, that come in and out. You talked about all those shows. Happy Days. There are actors from Happy Days that come on MASH that perform.
For me,
What's his name? Fucking Opie himself is one of the actors that shows up for a bit part on MASH because that's how fucking good that show is. That show is brilliant.
For me, it's almost
finale,
dramedy
the
though.
why it was the most watched show finale until that point for many fucking
No,
years.
I think it's
afterwards is because it is that
I
brilliant.
think it's still number one. I'm pretty sure it's still number one. I would say Three's Company is amazing. Great freaking show.
Andrew McCarthy's on it.
Shut up about Andrew McCarthy.
I think about the security guard.
I know it's not very deep, Joe, but I think Seinfeld's my favorite sitcom.
He says, I'm too drunk, I need to drink water.
Who said that?
Seinfeld, I can't get into like you can. And I could never get into Friends either, but I did get into Friends. I still can't get into Seinfeld. They're all fucking assholes. And I love
that they're all assholes. It's like Always Sunny like that. They're all assholes.
Is fucking awesome.
Do you like Curb?
Everything she's in.
Do you like Curb?
I liked the first few seasons of Curb far more than I ever liked Seinfeld. But I didn't keep up with Curb Your Enthusiasm. I didn't have the dude feeling about it. You know the dude.
Yeah, no, the dude.
I didn't have his feelings towards Curb that he did.
Sonic, your boy.
But I liked Curb Your Enthusiasm a whole hell of a lot.
Malcolm in the Middle was a great show, especially the parents, Bryan Cranston, and I don't know the actress's name. I love the alternate ending of Breaking Bad that they played with her waking up, where they did the Newhart ending. Newhart, another great show. I just actually watched
Newhart, great show, great ending, and Breaking Bad, great show.
Mary Tyler Moore,
all of them.
The Mary Tyler Moore Show is another great one. The original Bob Newhart show, or
Golden Girls, fucking amazing.
Golden Girls might be the greatest sitcom of all time. I'll battle with it.
MASH is better than Golden Girls.
It depends what you want. I mean, MASH. It's difficult because MASH almost borderlines dramedy. It's almost more like Scrubs.
That's just it. It is.
It's like Scrubs in that
comedy.
way, where it's
not a dramedy. It's a black comedy. It's a dark comedy. Not
Scrubs is the same. Scrubs is the same way. Like, because it's the medical kind of sitcom in a sense, it can play on that dynamic of it.
That's a dramedy, but that's not a black comedy. That's a dramedy because it has.
For me,
moments.
a sitcom needs to be a little. I want a sitcom to be even lighter.
It doesn't find its humor. Okay, here's the difference. You ready? The difference between MASH
Jin A,
and,
new name. New. I just want to say hi to Jin A in the live chat. All great shows, Phil. Keep it coming. If you have some picks, throw them in the live chat. We have freeform discussion right now. Any conversation you want to have right now, we're talking about top sitcoms.
Okay.
Joe, sorry, go.
Okay, this is the difference between the black comedy that's MASH and the dramedy that's Scrubs. Scrubs doesn't find its comedy in its drama. It separates the two.
Fair point. Very fair point.
Whereas MASH finds the humor in the dark. It really does. It makes you find what's funny about this awful shit. Whereas Scrubs relieves their drama with comedic moments. That, I believe, is the difference between the two.
Joe, I have to say,
that's what makes the difference between the dark comedy or the black comedy that's MASH and the dramedy that is
Joe.
Scrubs. Scrubs. I love Scrubs. I think Scrubs is a great show.
Scrubs is amazing. Scrubs is an amazing show. I want to send some special love out to the amazing, beautiful Jin A in the live chat, who is someone I actually know in real life. So sending you some love, Gina. So anyways, before
that's what makes MASH so good. It is psychotic, and that's just it.
Suicide is painless.
In order to
suicide is painless.
In order to find any kind of normality, any kind of sanity in war is psychotic.
Growing
pain. Find sanity in an emergency room, in the hospital. Believe me, I've done it for 25 years.
So do you find that MASH and Scrubs represent that pretty well?
I do, and this is probably the best comparison and the best this is thesis paper shit breakdown between those two, as it really is. Like, there's a lot that can go into the discussion and the topic between those two shows, and what the subtle differences are that make them different and great on their own.
Now, Dwarf Burger,
they have both great shows.
Dwarf Burger,
MASH, though, still holds cake.
Dwarf Burger says Golden Girls better than MASH. MASH was
Golden
totally
Girls
psychotic.
Is brilliant, and
Joe, what's your favorite?
Those 4 women are super fucking.
Oh, they're some of the most hilarious people ever to be on
Yes.
screen together at the same time.
And ensemble, right?
And every episode is the 4 of them basically, and it's just unbelievable. Now, Joe, just to get this a little bit more, to get off MASH just for 1 second, because I do need to rewatch it, because when I was forced to watch MASH as a kid, I was very anti it. But what's your favorite of all the 80s family sitcoms? Did you have a favorite of all of those? For me at the time, it was probably Growing Pains. As crazy as Kirk Cameron is now, I really liked Mike Seaver when I was a kid, and I loved
Mike Seaver and Stabone.
Yes, Richard Stapone, Boner. Yeah, I thought, and I liked Alan Thicke.
Little Leo.
Yep.
Psyched to his edition.
Yep, Little Leo was great on that show.
But no, as far as sitcoms went, like 80s sitcoms
I mean,
went at the time.
There's The Shall Not Be Named show, who's great.
The boss?
Who's the boss? Oh, you were who's the boss?
Alyssa Milano had me.
Mona had me. Mona had me, Joe.
All 3 of them had me. I was at who's the boss? That was. They were all 3 of those women were gorgeous in my opinion.
Yeah, that was a good.
When I was young, I throw it on occasionally. I think Danza from Taxi. I think he holds up and he does a great job.
That's why Taxi is so amazing. Taxi has so many stars on it. If we break apart
and again, Zach from Bab 5 on Taxi.
Stop playing the Bobby Wheeler card, okay?
Dude, in Greece. In Greece. He was also in Greece. Are you kidding me?
One
of the best musicals of all time, in my opinion. I think that's on here. Did we get musicals on here? Hold on. I got my list.
Spaghetti or whatever. Who's it playing in that show?
Martial arts.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, we did our favorite TV shows. Okay, it is
musical. TPB. What's that? I don't know.
I mean, really, when it comes down to it, it was the Cosby Show. I mean, that was the best of all of those shows.
And Moulin Rouge in Greece, I think. But
Benson was amazing. Soap was amazing. Roseanne, WKRP in Cincinnati. I love WKRP in Cincinnati. Scrubs got so repetitive after the first few seasons. Excuse me, Different Strokes. It's the Growing Pains.
I love Different Strokes. Martin could attest to that too.
Yeah,
Cosby
and
I never was a huge fan of the Cosby Show. No way. Never was.
Silver Spoons was definitely.
Oh, dude, I loved Silver Spoons. I loved the dad in that.
Phil, I have a ton of unanswered PayPals from you. Let's get to it though.
Wait, how many?
Let's get to those PayPals.
Oh, and those are two super chats from PayPal. Katie.
Oh no, Katie, taking more shots. Let me log into my fucking PayPal here. I gotta add the code.
I can't do this shit alone.
Katie! Yes, you can. Do it.
Katie!
I'm drinking with you too, you fucking asshole. Let's continue.
I know you are.
Let's continue. Let me see what I missed, Kelly.
Two in a row here.
Oh, Kelly says, we do. Kelly says Babylon 5 was better in the great cosmic storyline with the war.
Hold on. With Slanche? Salut.
Oh, Night Court's a great one, Mark. Great pick,
okay,
Mark.
Wait. We got how many PayPals are there?
We got some super chats, Joe. We gotta read these. You gotta deal with this one.
Hold on.
Deal.
You got the two PayPals here.
Joe, listen to this, motherfucker.
Oh, hold on.
And then I want to talk about Night Court.
she grabbed the Mountain Dew too for Chaser.
Drink it up.
I am.
And we'll talk about Kyle's super chat right there in a second too.
How many PayPals do we have?
We gotta.
Is it another fucking?
Wait. We gotta ask the questions though, Joe. Listen. Joe, Babylon.
I have literally I've been drinking responsibly. I've been chugging 8 ounces of water.
I missed that one time when Katie got really
okay,
drunk.
Well, there's no more vodka here, so this is the last one.
Thank God.
And yeah, thanks. So this is to Kyle. And the PayPal's I'll wait till next week.
No, we gotta read these questions,
Kyle,
Joe.
father to bears. I don't think it's.
My brother does not have children.
And he doesn't have bears.
So Martin, you might be right there. That was one of the greatest ones of all time. Good pick. Joe, I have a Babylon 5 question for you from Kelly, or Super Chat donation. You ready? Babylon 5 was better in the great cosmic storyline with the war between the Voltrons and the Shadow,
not the Voltrons, the Vorlons.
Vorlons. But and the Shadow, but Deep Space Nine had beautiful character arcs from start to finish. Except
no, stop. There were beautiful character arcs from start to finish with Babylon 5 too. If you look at Jakar, the warrior that he was to start.
Let me finish the super chat.
Hold on. The vindictive person that he was to start to the nearly prophet that he was at the finish. From Molares doing anything he could to be an evil bastard to being a very good person by the end. Not to say Jakar wasn't good at the beginning, but he was vengeful and vindictive. From the character arc with the Len, from going to be half human and learning all of that. So there's lots of good character arc in Babylon 5. You're just not kind of, and then some of the telepath character arcs that they get into as well. There's a lot of good character arc there too. So continue, Phil.
Okay, so except for with Dax and Terrafel with the awesome conclusion of the final season. How Odo was an introverted changeling, found love only to give it up, rejoin the collective, and share, etc., etc. Another question. Phil and Joe, why did the show utterly fail in showing the love and romance between Jon Snow and Daenerys? Because they didn't have enough time to build.
Yeah, because
it's easy question. They didn't have enough time.
Have they even met in the actual books?
Not yet. So they didn't have anything to build on.
So there's not even like enough time, but there was no source material for Dan and Dave to fucking
keep the sitcoms coming in the live chat
on, because all of the material that comes from them and them alone that didn't come from the George R.R. Martin macro outline that he gave them for an ending, which was probably like basically like Danny and him hook up, Danny gets killed by him, and like that's literally what they were like. You know what? Fuck George and the argument or whatever that we had. He gave us the outline and says they hook up, so they hooked up. And then he gave us the outline. He kills her, so we killed her. That's what he told us happened. That's what we did. You get nothing behind it. You get nothing before it, except for what happened. Like, it doesn't even. When did they even did they even have a first fucking date?
Joe, Kelly also asked, this is more for me, I guess. Phil, what do you think Garrick's final fate was? Was he assassinated, the leader of Cardassians? I recommend getting the audiobook Stitch in Time right now.
That's a great question, and that's one of the things that is
get Stitch in Time.
That is one of the things that has bugged me about Deep Space Nine from the start, and I'm so happy you said that, because I've never actually been able to put this in kind of words to put towards Phil. When he and I have had this argument for centuries, for about as long as the Vorlon and the Shadows have been fighting, for about as long as Cardassia has been storming the fucking galaxy.
We have.
This is our argument: is which one is better? And as far as I'm concerned, it's Babylon 5. And
but let's get to it.
Hold on. It's the character arcs and the character stories. Every single one of them are answered by the time you're done with Babylon 5. In fact,
same with Deep Space Nine.
No, not the same.
I guess not.
What was the question that was just asked you? What's the fate of so many of the characters that are left with Deep Space Nine? They focus on your major characters, but they
Joe, let's get to it. Let's get to
a lot of fan favorites out there.
Let's get to an easy question. Kyle super chat donation: Omni-Man versus Homelander. Omni-Man kicks his fucking dirty ass. Homelander doesn't stand a chance.
No. And that's been said. You can actually find someone either did a fan thing or
there was the death battle channel
that happened.
Yeah, the death battle channel.
Homelander is easily destroyed by Omni-Man.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought that was cheesy. I really honestly thought that was cheesy. Like, he gives him kind of a fight and then the fight just ends. It's almost as though Homelander is like, you know what? Why am I playing around here? Obviously, I could use so much more power than I have.
Joe, I have and we're going to get back to sitcoms in a second here because people have a lot of really good sitcoms.
Of course they do.
But Chris has a question for you, though. Chris H. Babylon 5 was fire. The telepath leader from the Psych Corp was scary. What the heck was he planning to do?
Bester, Walter Koenig from Bester? Fuck yeah.
What was
Star Trek original, baby. Dude, you want to know how good fucking Bab 5 is? You want to know how good Bab 5 is? Chekhov went over. Fucking, what's her name there? The nurse, whatever. Fucking, what's her name's mom? Telepath, what's her name's mom? From Generation. Nurse Katie.
Nurse Ratchet.
Nurse Chapel. Waxana.
Oh,
yes. Both of them are on Babylon 5.
Majel Barrett.
Yes, and then there's I think at least two more Star Trek converts.
She's actually
Babylon 5 because it's that much better.
She's the voice of the computer. Let's get to some sitcoms. People are mentioning. Martin says Sanford and Son.
What? I want a divorce.
The mention that I wanna.
What?
Joe.
I know.
What
Answer for yourself, woman.
What might be a good argument for best sitcom, Martin mentions in the live chat, which might be one of my favorite that's underrated, is The Odd Couple. The Odd Couple, it gets forgotten about a lot, but I think that's one of the best sitcoms of all fucking time as well. It definitely would be a place in that final stuff. Someone said Sanford and Son as well. Amazing show. Get Smart, Bewitched, I Dream of Jeannie, Hogan's Heroes. Honorable mention for the Benny Hill Show, Frasier. Joe, Frasier or Cheers? You're muted, I believe.
Cheers.
Cheers over Frasier?
Cheers over Frasier. And here's the thing. I don't say that. That's not. No. Here, I got a caveat.
Katie,
about that.
I want to hear Katie's opinion too.
Yeah. Crow's gonna fly through here in a second. Katie, let's get Katie's opinion real quick first. She went.
Well, it's a difficult one. That's Cheers over Frasier. I don't know. I'd have to think about that for a while. Maybe even rewatch.
Ooh. Okay.
It's been years.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this.
Especially with Cheers.
All right. Okay, so here's my deal. I am with my nephew on this.
I was gonna say.
Oh yeah, he does a great podcast on this.
I am with my nephew on this. Cheers is my second favorite show of all time. I think it might be his favorite, but it's my second favorite of all time. MASH again is better, but
I don't know about that.
But hey, I love Cheers, and here's the thing: when you ask me, is Cheers better than Frasier? I say Cheers because without Cheers, there is no Frasier.
Yeah,
and
but
B,
let's try to make that decision besides that point, though.
Yep. And B, Frasier is Cheers continued. Frasier is a spin-off, but it happens at the end of Cheers. Now, Phil, we talked about this last time we had a discussion, and we talked about The Walking Dead. And those moments that we talked about was I felt like because Daryl was on from beginning to end without dying, this is not a spin-off so much as it is The Walking Dead continued, as highlighted by Carol showing up at the end of the mid-season break. So, with Frasier picking up where Cheers leaves off, and characters from Cheers continuing to show up through the run of Frasier.
Not many, though. Not many.
It doesn't matter.
Frasier's kind of its own thing.
It doesn't matter. And yes, it is. Just as Daryl is trying to be
Wings is
its own
classic,
thing.
by the way, John Haymaker. Wings is
But
pretty good.
I personally can't separate the two because it's the same universe and it's not concurrent. It's in the immediate aftermath. It is, we ended this season.
Have you answered which one you like better, though?
I did. And within a season.
What'd you say? Cheers?
I didn't say Cheers because it's the father of it, A. Without it, Frasier.
So do you like Breaking Bad better than Better Call Saul for that reason?
So, ooh, Phil.
As John Haymaker popped it in.
Fucking question.
John Haymaker brought it up.
Oh, wow, that's a great question.
I don't know. I think I like. I don't know which. In
Phil,
retrospect,
I
looking
have
at
to-
both of them, I don't know which one I like better.
I have to make a confession.
You didn't like the end of Saul.
I haven't seen the end of Saul. But that same thing happened at the end of Breaking Bad, if you remember. Do you remember that Breaking Bad ended at one point and I didn't go, or I stopped watching at one point and I didn't go back? And
Yeah,
the series
Kyle,
finished?
you're right. Booze is better.
haven't
Beer is
seen
better
the
than
end of-
sherry.
I haven't seen the end of Breaking Bad. Sorry,
Saul.
of Better Call Saul. And the reason I think I haven't watched the end isn't because I fell off, isn't because I lost interest.
You want to make it last?
Wow, that might also be part of the answer, Phil. I don't want it to end. I don't want an oh fuck.
And just for the record, just to answer the question for myself, I like Breaking Bad better because I feel like it's a tighter narrative, but I think Better Call Saul is a better show from beginning to end because the production team was just better at what they do. I think Breaking Bad is a little bit, I like it a little bit better.
You know what? I haven't watched the end of it because I know it's the end of it.
It's good. It's good.
I know. Here's the thing.
It's good, Joe.
For any of the other shows, even with Breaking Bad, I stopped watching because
Joe, we have a call. Should we take our call?
Take the call. I don't want to answer this question.
Because you're a wimp.
I don't want to answer your fucking question.
You're a wimp.
Jesus is better.
Jay, distract Joe. What do you got to say, buddy?
The Better Call Saul ending was disguised member berries.
Wait, Joe. Jay, don't spoil it for Joe.
Member berries from
Jay, can you hear me? Jay, can you hear me? I'm cutting you off for a second. Don't spoil the ending for Joe.
I know. Here's the thing. If you do, I don't mind. It's okay, Jay, because I don't mind spoilers.
And turn down your radio.
I don't have my radio on.
Or the computer. I can hear.
Maybe it's Joe's side. Like, I literally don't have anything playing right now in the background. I put you on mute.
It's you, Phil. It's you.
Maybe it's me. I'm sorry. I love you, Jay. But what were you saying? What were you saying? Can you make your point without spoiling the end?
Yeah, it's member berries based on the end of its predecessor show.
Yeah, I feel fair.
So it's member berries for prequel to a postquel. That's difficult to do.
I
do call the computers radios, Kyle. I fucking do.
Wait, Phil, would you consider what I said a spoiler?
No,
I'm not sure.
No. That a spoiler. That makes it more intriguing to me, Jay.
Yeah, but like I hated it because like he's a lawyer and shouldn't have been so stupid. Like he should have had a better ending.
Fair. Okay. Interesting, Jay. Thank you as always, my friend.
The first I've heard
There's no reason why he should have had like that ending.
Okay. I'm with you. I want to talk about this at a later date, Jay, because this is going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah. We're going to definitely talk about this at a later date, Jay. I am going to go and watch this weekend.
Oh, Jay, you just want to hate it. You just want to hate it now.
Jay, I hope we're on the same page here, Jay.
We are Beavis and Butthead, Jay. John Haymaker.
No, we're not. We're fucking Wayne.
We're more Wayne's World. Are we more Wayne's World than Beavis and Butthead?
We're more Wayne and Garth than we ever were. Listen, Beavis and Butthead have never had.
No, I think he's just mentioning it as a. I think he's mentioning it at Joe. I think he's just mentioning it as a sitcom. But
great sitcom.
But the bigger question is,
nothing hits harder than a fart joke. Ever.
It's true, but I would say if we're talking about us, we're definitely more Wayne's World than the spoiler nuts. Northern Exposure.
Third Rock from the Sun is great. John Lithgow is fucking amazing. Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yep.
As a young child actor, great. Norman from fucking Jurassic Seinfeld.
Jurassic. Wait. Can you say that again? Jurassic Seinfeld.
Yeah, Norman.
No, I know who you're talking about, but Jurassic Seinfeld, that's great. Norman from Jurassic Seinfeld.
Dude, he's great in Third Rock.
Newman. You mean Newman from
Newman, not Norman. Newman from Jurassic Seinfeld. Yes.
Jackie, I did play a conga solo. My congas.
We're more Bill and Ted. We do not travel through time.
Do you think if we travel
It's just on the shelf.
Joe, do you think if we travel through time we'd be good or evil with it?
Dude, are you kidding me? We destroy humanity.
You think so really quick?
Accidentally.
We got Robert. It's been over a year. Oh, we miss you, buddy. What's amazing about what we do is over the years we've had something like 6 million people watching us or 6 million views over the.
We now make $10,000 a day through YouTube.
No, we don't. We make like 10 cents a day. So we appreciate all donations. But
we are bigger than PewDiePie.
We're not. Yes, we are bigger than PewDiePie, but not what you're trying to say, Joe. But anyways, we appreciate that people check in over the years, and whether it be a week, a month, or 10 years, we appreciate you popping on in anytime. So, Robert, welcome back.
Yes. Thank you back.
Welcome the fuck back. Bongo time.
Why the fuck did you leave us?
Yeah, that's why we're failing.
I missed you so much,
exactly.
Robert.
This is the
Where
this.
have you... No, but seriously, why'd you leave?
No, whatever.
Man, we've been here for you this whole time, man.
No, but we haven't been holding our end of the bargain. Joe and I are gonna be covering. We're gonna be covering a lot more silly crap over there.
When they come out with more prestige TV, not as pedestrian TV that they call
pedestrian
prestige TV.
Oh my goodness. Kyle says bongo time. Well, we'll see. I do owe something. Let's see if I can play a little quiet.
I'm pretty sure you all owe us a shot now that you got a free fucking Congo play. Take it.
Oh, Murphy's Brown. I want to make a tracksuit of Phil's velvetly voice and wear it to church. Dry cleaning only.
That was all the deep voice.
Oh yeah. Hi. Thank you so much. Best decade.
I can't wait to go back to karaoke night. I got like.
Oh yeah. I was gonna ask you that when we were done here if we should.
I felt. Did I tell you?
We have to go back to karaoke night.
Did I tell you? I haven't told you yet.
No.
I
singing
joined
karaoke.
A choir.
A choir.
A chorus.
Are you setting up? Are you preparing for karaoke night?
I joined a choir, a chorus.
Oh, I want to jump in there too. Best.
It's for my work, and it's going to be put on for all the patients and staff and some family members and shit.
I might need to come. Can I come?
We're doing Christmas songs. I joined. Phil, I'm doing it.
He's a joiner. Let's get in the live chat. Don't forget Murphy Brown. Thank you, Jackie C. Send those super chats if you can. Neil Pert would be proud. Oh, thank you, Kyle. You make me feel like
Pert.
You make me feel like a natural woman.
Of all time.
Joe, Sonic.
Stuart Copeland.
John, he is definitely one of the best. Sonic, your boy, has a question, Joe. Best decade of SNL. What's your favorite SNL cast?
90s. Everybody but who, Phil?
Rob Schneider?
No, Rob Schneider I thought was what the Filipino?
I feel like
Filipino.
I feel like when you tell me it, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah. But
he's so bad on that show. I can't even remember his fucking name. That's how bad he was on that show.
Holy shit, Joe. We do have a super chat that paid for that drum solo. Kyle says, I'm on the 5%. Kyle. Love you guys. Keep it real, Phil. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you so much for that, for donating to that drum solo. I appreciate it.
Who was Handyman? Not Handyman. Who was Asteroid? Katie!
Oh, no. I do it, Joe. Can we be serious for 1 second here?
Yes.
I do want to send some love out to one of the funniest members of the 90s, because for me, it's probably the 90s crew, just because that was what I grew up with. And I feel like I read something somewhere where someone said, your favorite Saturday Night Live cast is the one you were in high school with. I do think the Eddie Murphy cast is pretty talented. The original cast is talented as well. But for me, it's that 90s cast. But I do want to send some love out, not that he's watching, but
The ladies' man. The most unfunny man in America.
Tim Meadows.
Tim fucking Meadows. That generation of Saturday Night Live is the best in spite of Tim Meadows being on the show. Now, here's the thing.
Leave Tim Meadows alone. But
there's the thing. The ladies' man, I love that movie.
It's funny as shit.
I love it. It is fucking hilarious. Everything else that guy has ever done, every skit he is on and in Saturday Night Live is fucking horrible. But that cast, that what's his name? Nealon, fucking news radio dude that's dead, Sandler, fucking, you just mentioned him, whatever his name is.
Phil Hartman. But
Phil Hartman, Mike Myers,
Joe,
Rob Schneider,
Dana Carvey.
Fucking brilliant. Chris Rock, Dana Carvey.
Joe.
They are all brilliant. That is the best. That is better than everything that came before them and everything that has come since.
It was such a stacked
Will Ferrell, including John fucking whatever his name is, dead with his brother fucking Canine there or
Belushi.
John Belushi. Better than all of the originals.
I agree.
Better than all of them. That cast is the
I agree.
best,
For me, it's that 90s cast as well. And I do want to spend special love out, not that he's watching, but whatever, to Dana Carvey at the moment. He lost his son, who was also a comedian, who died of an accidental overdose. And
there is, I want to say this.
Lots of love to Dana Carvey and his family dealing with the loss.
Call them accidental overdoses.
Okay,
anymore.
An overdose.
And no. And I'm not saying
it was fentanyl.
Here's the thing. I'm not saying this because you know that shooting up heroin or whatever is going to kill you eventually or kill you on the spot or anything like that. But I'm saying it because of fentanyl and of the fact that you know that you don't know with what they're giving you as far as opiates is what they are. And unfortunately, the majority of people choose that drug for, how many people have OD'd on this shit? That's the one I want. And because OD doesn't always lead to death. And that's the thing people don't understand. But when it does lead to death, that increases the amount of times that particular bag is most likely going to get sold to that particular dealer or that particular area.
Well,
in the fucking streets is going to get hit hardest. And it's true. And as far as it being accidental, I can't say. I want to say it's murder. Because the people that cut this shit, and the people that are putting their fentanyl in the opium and or opiates in their heroin, in their whatever, or putting it in cocaine or putting it in whatever, that does happen. Rare as it might be, it does happen. And it is terrifying, Kyle. It's absolutely fucking terrifying.
Joe is also a drug and alcohol rehabilitation counselor, so he is dealing with this stuff firsthand as well.
I see the infections that come through, and I see what happens with this shit. And it's not an accidental overdose. It's out there. Like, I understand that people get hooked through accident and through illness that have nothing to do with drug use at the start. But I also know that the majority of people out there have been told and have been counseled and have been taught through various hundreds of programs. And you're talking to someone that has used many different narcotics and drugs in his life. I also know that you make that conscious step to move on, to move to something else, to use more, to 1 hit of acid, goes to 3 hits of acid, goes to 5 hits of acid tomorrow, goes to 7 hits of acid the next
So,
day.
Joe,
No, fuck, I need to take a fucking, I got to take 2 10 strips. Okay, that's what I got to take. I got to use a gram this time. Holy fuck, we're gonna be doing this 8-ball all night long. That's fine.
So, Joe,
Whatever it happens to
I
be.
don't want to transition.
But you get there, and that's just it. I don't want to. And it's important, Phil. And this is my
No, it
one
is.
caveat.
It definitely is.
It's not necessarily accidental. It's murder, and it's suicide in the same. Accidental puts no blame on either fucking party, and there is a blame. There's an adult who chooses to do this drug that they know has been most likely altered or possibly altered to be even more lethal than what they are intending to do. And then there's the other party who knows they are selling something to someone who alters it and increases it, or maybe doesn't, but knows they are doing it. It's murder and it's suicide, but it's definitely not accidental.
And
that's all I have to say.
No, and very, very important stuff, Joe. And rest in peace, and lots of love to Dana Carvey and his whole family. To get back to talking about Saturday Night Live stuff, I know it's a weird transition, but we'll get into that right now. Talking about 90s SNL, Farley, Spade, Hartman, Sandler. Farley was Comedy Gold. Lunch Lady stuff. Farley's. Yeah, and Norm Macdonald kind of extended in that. Kevin Nealon, the Weekend Update stuff. Who told Joe my weekend schedule, says Robert. Well said, Joe, says Sonic. That makes a lot of sense, Joe. Kyle says, I'm reluctant to even buy weed that's not from the dispensary now. It's real. Got to stay safe out there with fentanyl. Why do all my conversations in SNL end like this? Robert, it's interesting that they do because so many SNL...
by the river, Robert.
So many SNL people have been lost in the SNL family through different means. I mean,
yeah, 2 of the people we just mentioned, that wonderful man that lived in a van down by the river, and
he wanted to go out like Belushi
or
Candy and stuff like that. He wanted to go out early.
Candy.
Sandler sings in that song, in his Chris Farley song. He says, I think there's a line like that. They told him to slow down. He goes, I want to be like my idols, Belushi and Candy, and if I go out early, I go out early. John Haymaker says, that's why I live clean. Farley is the living in the van, dying by the river stuff. Little piece of weird trivia. Bob Odenkirk actually wrote that, living in a van, dying by the river. But anyways, Joe.
Oh, fuck, dude.
He did. We've been on about 3 hours.
That's one of the most, like, iconic skits from Saturday Night Live. Whether or not it's because of Farley, whether or not it's because of the
Isn't
writing,
that amazing that Odenkirk wrote that?
One of the most iconic, and that's a great little tidbit there. Thank you for that.
Odenkirk wrote that. Anyways, we've been on about 3 hours, so we're going to probably end this right about now. Thank you to everyone that tuned in tonight. We appreciate it. We'll be back.
I'm not down with that.
Ending?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. We'll be back.
No, I'm done, Joe.
Yeah, you're done, Joe.
No, I'm not done. You're done.
I'm not done.
I'm not done.
Oh, well, we'll keep going then.
I got a little time to bake.
You guys can... So we'll keep going now. One more round. No night, guys. One more round. I said that, so everyone's gonna be.
He's a little premature as usual.
Jackie says we're both done. Jackie says go to bed, you fucking guys. We'll be at what are we on? 105. We'll say we'll be on for 5 more minutes here. So ask us any questions you want to go.
Oh.
Or Jackie says, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah, you're done, Jackie.
I'm done with you guys. It's too much. But we're going into the season finale, or the mid-season finale.
Mid-season finale, and that's something that really bugs me.
That it's this soon that we're in the mid-season finale.
It's episode 4. Yeah. That means this whole season is 8 episodes.
It's too late for Trumpet. Otherwise, I would play.
No, like, why isn't it a 10-episode season? I feel like they could have padded it. They jumped 3 months ish. They went from graduation to we're now at first day of college. Why isn't there one episode of filler in there that's anybody else's story? Maybe before episode 2, because episode 2 was really boring. You have episode 1 that brought us in, which was decent.
Phil,
Give us a second episode that's I don't know, fucking schmucko there that I was bitching about earlier from our area.
We need more. I appreciate quality, but we still need amounts of episodes too. Correct. There's too little. Phil, thoughts on Chicago style pizza? I think Chicago style pizza is good, but I don't consider it pizza. I consider it its own thing. It's almost like a pie. Phil, Google the Red Ranger curse. I'm Googling it right now. 12 things that confirm there's a Power Ranger curse for the Red Ranger, apparently. We'll look into that for a future show, potentially. Chicago has a lot of nerve calling that shit pizza. I agree. I don't think it's
not pizza.
It's not pizza. It's good. It's very good, but it's not pizza. It's
like
something completely different.
Casserole?
It's a pie. It's like a casserole pie of some sort.
I don't know. It's weird. It's not.
It's good though. I like it.
It's not a casserole. I don't know.
It's a pie. It's literally a pie.
It's not a pie.
It's kind of a pie. It's really good, but I don't call it pizza. I agree, Kyle.
I love okay. Here's the thing. Uno's deep dish. Uno's.
Oh, you're talking about Uno's.
I've never been to Chicago.
You never been to
Chicago?
Chicago? Is that your attempt of a Chicago accent?
No, that was my Boston speak of Chicago.
Why were you doing a Boston accent when you were saying Chicago?
I wasn't
kind of weird.
I say Chicago. Right?
No, but you were saying it.
I was emphasizing the A.
It's kind of weird the way you did. It was kind of weird the way you did it, though. It
was a little weird.
It was a little weird.
Okay, so I've never been to Chicago. All right, but Uno, is every deep dish pizza a Chicago deep dish pizza? No. I will say that for you right now. No, it's not. New England's version of a deep dish pizza is not necessarily a Chicago pizza. And I want to make that very clear. Just like a Denver Italian style
a Denver
pizza is not necessarily
have you ever had
what you're going to get in either fucking
Joe, have you ever had Detroit pizza?
I have never had pizza outside of
No. Detroit is a certain kind of pizza that has the sauce on top of the cheese. It's thicker like a Sicilian slice, and then it has sauce on top of the cheese.
Listen, if this is
that's
Detroit.
It is. It's new
pizza that started in like
Detroit,
the 2000s.
Detroit, yeah, it's Detroit
but
pizza.
Did like some Detroit dude go, "Oh, I'm too stoned to realize where the cheese and the sauce goes," and this happened in 2005, and now it's a thing that it's Detroit pizza? Then no, it's not Detroit pizza. It's just fucked up, fucking weird shit.
No, it's Detroit pizza. That's what it is.
No, it's like, what's a pizza, dude?
Are we getting into the philosophical thing again? Like,
more than just philosophical about pizza, man.
What is a pizza?
What's a fucking pizza?
What's a pizza?
What's a pizza? Define pizza to me.
Hold on, Todd's having another.
No.
You want me to define a pizza?
I want you to define pizza.
Sauce, cheese, and bread.
Sauce, cheese, and bread. Really?
Sure.
That defines and plus any toppings, and it doesn't matter what order or where it comes. So if I take bread and I mix it in a fucking bowl with sauce,
no, stop it. Stop it. You're being ridiculous.
I am being a little ridiculous because the amounts and types of pizza out there is fucking ridiculous. When you put the sauce on top of the cheese on top of the
Detroit.
dough, you have...
Don't hate on Detroit pizza.
Dude, fold the pizza in half. It's a calzone. Calzones are just pizzas that are fucking cut open.
Kinda.
Pizzas are just calzones.
No,
that are cut
they're
open, rather.
sealed, not
Like,
cut open.
dude,
They're sealed.
dude, what's a fucking pizza? Deep dish, not deep dish, thin crust, thick crust, Brooklyn style, fucking Detroit style apparently now, fucking Chicago style. Dude, the only
Kyle
thing
says, Phil, that's a loose
that
definition.
matters.
What about calzones?
Stuffed crust. Fuck stuffed crust. Putting cheese inside the crust.
What's wrong with that? What do you have a problem with cheese? What's your
Listen, I got
problem?
no problem
What
with cheese.
is your
You give me
fucking
cheese-
problem?
You give me 1,000-year-old cheese. You give me fresh fucking out of the cow. We just fucking
What, Gouda? You want some
this
Gouda
cheese.
cheese
I
stuffed
don't
in
give
that?
a fuck. Cheese is good, man.
Cheese is the
Cheese
best.
Is great, man. Keep those cows.
That's the
pregnant,
only reason
locked
why I
up,
could never
and
be
fucking stuffed in a crate to be veal
Joe,
or cheese.
The
don't
reason I
care.
could never be vegan is because I like cheese too much. I don't really
Dude.
eat meat.
Dude, I eat meat.
I know
The
you
only-
do, but I don't
Listen,
eat meat out of
I have
choice.
tried to become vegetarian on many a grounds of the fact that I love all animals to death, but not quite to death. To the point
Like
of
you like them like
almost starving
tasty.
to death. But then you know what? I'm gonna eat that fucking animal. I'm gonna eat it, and I'm gonna eat its ass, and I'm gonna eat its mouth, and I'm gonna eat its fucking everything. That animal is fucking gonna be put on my foot.
John,
That animal is going to help me kill the next animal when I sharpen its fucking bone and I fucking shoot it at that next fucking animal. Like, are you kidding me? No, I don't want to kill the animal myself. I would rather not do that. I will pay a premium for you to kill the animal, cut it open, and destroy its guts and give me a nice cut of that beautiful, delicious fucking meat where I don't have to think about the fact that you raised it on an inhumane farm or humane farm or free range farm or whatever the fuck you say. That animal is going to slaughter to taste good in my belly and in my mouth. I am not the person that is going to be asked to kill it. I will not do that. I love animals
but you'll eat it.
Almost death, but I am not going to fucking starve. I am going to kill that bunny. I'm going to eat that rat. I'm going to fucking pull any kind of fucking shit out of the ocean and stuff it in my fucking belly. There is no way I am dying because something else isn't going to die. If I have to eat you, Phil, when it comes down to it, you're going to have to hit me in a rock in the back of the head, a knife to the back of my fucking head when I ain't looking.
Oh, dude, I'm hoping you're
hungry enough. When I get hungry enough, your fucking skinny ass is going to look so good to me. I'm going to suck the marrow out of your fucking bones.
I've been eating a lot of chocolate lately,
leave me
Joe.
to die, or you can get eaten in the fucking Alps and made into a great fucking tasting rock soup. It don't matter to me. Either way, one of those two things is going to happen. That's all I got to say.
Delicious. Kyle says, I love my dog, but, you know.
Exactly. No. I love my cats. I love my pets. But my neighbor's pets, I am going to eat those motherfuckers first chance I get when the zombie apocalypse comes down. My cats are going to eat my neighbor's cats. Are you kidding me? No. My cats stay alive until I fucking die, and then they get to eat my bones. But those are the only animals on this planet that I do not fucking eat. My animals. My animals stay alive, and I eat your animals. And then I eat fucking you if I have to. But I will stay alive, and my animals will stay alive, and you will be delicious fucking food.
You sounded like a fucking supervillain there.
And if I can pay someone else to do it, I will.
What is a pizza? What is a woman, says Kyle? What is porn? What is a chair?
Sorry, Jackie, but yeah, that's the truth of it all. When it comes down to it,
Tell
to the back of my head, or you're a fucking dinner.
Tell us how you really feel. Do pizza rolls count as pizza? They're more of a calzone. Joe, I love my dog.
Yes, they are. Much more of a calzone.
They're kind of a calzone. But the commercial shows slice of pizza rolling up in pizza batter. Checkmate, atheists. No, they're just pizza rolls. Jesus, Joe sounded like a WWE wrestler at the end there. You did kind of. I might have to.
Well, there was a wrestler, so there you go.
But not the WWE kind.
Not the WWE kind, no. I was the break your arm kind.
The real wrestler. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back next week for this again. Probably on Friday. I like doing it on Friday night better, right? Friday's better than Thursday. We'll be back at the same time next week for the season. Whoa.
What does that fucking get us?
I don't know what that is.
Did you watch the Sopranos Super Bowl commercial?
As John Haymaker just becomes a member for 13 months, so you've become a super member. Thank you for he is a dime bag of support, Joe.
Jesus fucking dude.
Toast to that.
Daryl, it is.
I just heard it. Ding, ding, ding.
Oh, yeah.
Phil, we got a couple of voicemails, but before we go, Joe.
Let's hit them.
Let's hit our fucking voicemails from our good buddy, Jay.
So I'm halfway with Joe. I mean, I eat certain animals, but there are certain animals I just leave alone because, like, I don't think dogs and cats would be good.
No, dude, you haven't had some dogs.
And also,
you better not.
Dogs and cats wouldn't be good, and like, you know, dogs are like the best animal in the world. Like like cats, I wouldn't really care.
That being said, other than America, dogs and cats are
they're on the fucking menu.
They're on the menu.
When dogs
but like if humans started trying,
maybe tied. Okay, no, tied for second best because unicorn being the number one animal.
Of course.
Eat dogs. I think I'd side with the dogs and start shooting the humans.
Good to see you, Robert.
And then feeding the humans to the dogs because dogs are better than people.
I'm eating you probably before
I agree.
I'm eating your cat, but I wanted to kind of make, when it comes down to it, anybody that saw this that's at that point with me, they might remember this. So I want them to think I'm going to kill their cat or their dog first. And then if that doesn't happen, they'll be like, okay, he's not to us yet. And then
John Haymaker, did I watch this?
Taking them first, fattening their animals up on them.
Answer the question. Did I watch the Sopranos Super Bowl commercial? I don't think I did.
We watched the Super Bowl, so probably.
Oh, maybe I did. I don't have it in a memory.
But it's not memorable.
It didn't have memory. I know there's also that Sopranos thing with Tony and Carmela trying to recruit LeBron James when he was in his decision point. They were trying to get him to come to the Knicks, and they hired James Gandolfini and Edie Falco to record in that particular thing. Tony had a beard, and he was
already dead.
But in that particular version of it, he was in the witness protection program, and he had a beard and shit.
Okay.
And we got one more short.
Was he alive at the time they filmed the shit?
Yeah, of course he was. How could he be dead when they filmed it?
I don't know. AI? Was it last year?
AI didn't exist
at
that.
Bowl?
No, this was when LeBron James did his thing. Anyways.
Oh, so it was like topical. I don't remember that shit at all, dude.
Okay, listen to Jay's last message.
And if the Patriots weren't in that Super Bowl, I didn't watch it. So
okay, Jay, one more last question here.
Just one,
I guess.
So by your definition, a calzone is a pizza. All right, later.
Correct. Dough, cheese, and sauce.
Okay.
He's correct.
Okay. It's also open-faced. You fucking assholes. Like,
No, he was correct. He was correct. By your definition.
He was right. He was right. Okay, he was right. He was right. But you know what I mean.
So and then it has to be open-faced.
Oh, John Haymaker. I did see
Can it be made on a stovetop, Phil? What if I put is a flatbread?
I did see that, John
cheese
Haymaker.
And fucking sauce on it. So you took a pita out of a fucking plastic bag, threw it on a fucking skillet, and melted sauce and cheese on it, and that's a fucking pizza. An English muffin that you sliced open and sauced and cheesed and microwave. We're calling those actual pizzas.
It's delicious. You're making me hungry.
Delicious is different than a pizza.
It's pizza-like.
Fucking cow is delicious, but you got to do certain shit with it.
Pizza-like.
Pizza-like.
It's pizza-like, right?
A calzone is a pizza folded in half.
Robert says, I'm sorry. I didn't realize pizza was spelled calzone. You fucking idiot.
This is all Park and Rec right here. Fucking calzone.
Yeah,
It's my man from fucking Severance. He loves that fucking calzone shit, dude.
we're going in that direction.
Not Severance. Severance. Wait, Severance?
Severance
Apple
is great.
Plus? What's his name? What's his name? Scott?
Oh, and I know who you're talking about. It's what's the main actor?
Adam Scott.
Adam Scott.
Adam Scott. Calzone. Gotta have a calzone from Park and Rec. So I love Adam Scott. I think he's fucking awesome. I can't wait for more Severance. Fuck writers and fucking actors strike. You fucking little petty little bitches.
It's over.
Y'all make so much more
It's over.
than the rest of fucking America.
It's
But
over, Joe.
Congratulations, unions. Go for it.
It's
get all you can. Fuck those greedy little fucks.
It's over. Do you know what? I don't get enough calzones. Like,
nobody gets enough calzones because you want a calzone, just get a fucking pizza and fold your pizza in half like you're a New Englander and eat that shit.
Everybody, thank you so much for joining in tonight. It's my new band. Calzone is a pizza folded up with the sauce on the one side. Brazil makes some weird ass pizza too. It's all mayo and squeezed cheese. Oh, shut up.
There is no mayo on any pizza ever.
I mean,
mayo is delicious and belongs in lots of places, not on a pizza. Like Nesciutto burger? Oh! Give me a Nesciutto anytime.
anything but mayo. Joe, thank you so much for joining me tonight. We'll talk to you guys next week. And we're still going. Yeah, we're still.